Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you to the regional semi finale of the Ultimate Pitch Season 9. I'm Meenal Singh Chindale, and I will be your host for today. It has been more than a month since we launched T.U.P 9.0 Be the Now across the country. It was a call out to the young minds to channel their entrepreneurial zeal and spirit of innovation. From starting with an idea, giving it form and shape, doing the cost benefit analysis, and finally bringing it to a stage where it's ready for go to market. You did it all. Now, with absolute delight, I want to give you all a sneak peek into TUP 9.0's incredible journey so far with this video. We received an overwhelming response with over 19,000 registrations and more than 1,500 idea submissions from across campuses. Now, with this, I would like to congratulate the top 26 teams who made it to the regional semi finale. Can we have the video, please? Congratulations, teams. It's been a tough journey, and you definitely have proven your mettle. Determination, grit, and an unwavering faith in your ideas has brought you to the stage of this tremendous journey today. Kudos. We eagerly await to see your ideas unfold and soar to unprecedented heights. Now, before we begin, here's a quick rundown of how the regional semi finale will progress. The teams will have their 3 minutes pitch their idea in the form of a pitch video, post which the teams will make a 3 minute presentation to the jury and an additional 1 minute to showcase the prototype of their ideas. Also, this year we have a special feature called the Idea Face Off. Don't worry, we'll tell you more about it in the coming slides. This will then be followed by a 4 minute Q&A by the jury. We are definitely excited to see how you will fare in this new format. But please keep an eye on the time. We'll be giving you nudges before the timer runs out. But wait, how do the teams impress the jury? The answer has always been straightforward. Your idea must be futuristic, solve a real world problem, challenge conventional wisdom, be practical and scalable, and have a strong business case. We sincerely hope our idea workshop powered by GeoGenNext help the teams here take their ideas to the next stage. Now, coming back to the idea face off. In order to add a twist to the competition, we have added a new feature this year called the idea face off. Here, each of the teams gets an opportunity to question their respective opposition team. For this, you will be given an additional 1 minute after the opposition's team's presentation. Keep in mind that our gurus will award you bonus points not just on how you're answering those questions, but also on how you're asking the right questions. Now, it's time to tell you about the exciting rewards for regional semi finale winners. Firstly, the winners of today will advance to the grand finale of the Ultimate Pitch to be held at the Reliance Corporate Park in Mumbai. The national finalist gets an opportunity to be mentored by the CEOs, CXOs at Reliance. They'll also get a pre placement interview opportunity with Reliance. Further, for the grand finale, the ultimate winner of the grand finale would walk away with a cash prize of 6 lakh rupees. The ultimate runners up will be awarded a cash prize of 3 lakh rupees, and the Popular Choice Award will be awarded a cash prize of 1 lakh rupees. Now, with all set in place, let's begin the regional semi finale by introducing the jury for today. We have some eminent gurus with us who are the pioneers in the areas of finance, marketing, and operations. They will be assessing your ideas in this round. And I'm glad to introduce Mr. Pavas Chandra, General Manager and Business Head at Geosphere, Mr. Tuhin Basu, Chief Financial Officer at Reliance Power Electronics, and Mr. Tanrun Kanoria, Assistant Vice President at Reliance Retail. Now we have a question for the jury. What is that one thing that you're looking forward to in the regional semi finale round today?
I think what I'm looking for is the rigor from the participants. They have the passion, they know what they're solving for, but what I'm particularly interested is how much they have thought about that. And the rigor is something that I'm looking forward to in this particular round.
So maybe I'll go next, Tarun. Depth and passion. I mean, these are the two things which I am looking for.
Yeah. Adding to Pavas and Tuhin, on similar lines, we have heard your ideas, and we know they are futuristic, innovative. In these rounds, I'll be looking forward to how you're thinking of executing it and making it scalable as well. And that is where I think the prototyping becomes very important. So that is what I would be looking forward to hearing from all the teams.
Great. Thank you so much, jury members. I hope the teams took note of the hack you have just shared and make the best use of this opportunity. Now it's time to let the games begin. I would now like to call the first team, Team Elemente. Can we have their pitch?
Hi, my name is Dikshant Verma. Did you know that every year in India, 25 million babies are born who, for the first 6 months of their lives, are entirely dependent on their mothers for sufficient nutrition? But unfortunately, in our country, the exclusive breastfeeding rate is only 55%, which means that 11.25 million babies do not get that sufficient nutrition every year. So, how do we tackle this problem? Well, one of the ways is to basically give these babies infant nutrition products. But the problem with these products is they're just too expensive, which is why only 20% of these 11.25 million babies are able to afford it. What is the second option? Well, the second option is giving these babies diluted cow's milk. And this is where a major problem begins. You see, when compared with the mother's milk, cow's milk has 3 times the amount of protein while having the same amount of calories, which is why doctors advise parents to dilute the cow's milk in order to protect the child's kidneys from this excessive protein. But one of the key factors over here is missed, and that is when compared to the mother's milk, cow's milk has half the amount of vitamins and 1/5 the amount of iron, which are extremely essential nutrients important for a baby's growth. And when a baby does not get these nutrients, it leads to malnourishment. In fact, in our country, lack of nutrition contributes to 54% of the death caused under the age of 5. And this is exactly where our product comes into play. My product is the cow's milk modifier. It's a sachet which contains all those nutrients which gets diluted when a cow's milk is diluted. The way to use this product is you add this sachet to a diluted cow's milk, and it elevates the level of diluted cow's milk to as close as possible to mother's milk. And all it costs is just 30 rupees. This is a very simple product and yet very powerful. It is a sachet which gives lives. Imagine that. I thank you for the opportunity. A very good morning to the esteemed jury members. One thing that I believe that the video was clear was that we are dealing with a real problem. Over 11 million babies in India don't get exclusively breastfed. 8 lakh children every year in India don't get to celebrate their sixth birthday due to nutrition related deaths. And unfortunately, the solution that exists for these children who are not exclusively breastfed is a solution for the financially sound. I believe whether rich or poor, every child needs the same nutrition and should get the same nutrition irrespective of their financial condition. You see, this product challenges the conventional wisdom. What happens in India is out of 25 million babies born annually, 9 million neither get sufficient milk feeds from their mothers, nor can they afford infant formula products. So they are advised to dilute cow's milk and use it as a non ideal alternative. And this hasn't been happening since the last decade or century, but for centuries. What we are saying is you dilute the cow's milk. It is important so that you can protect the infant's kidneys. So you do that. But you add cow's milk modifier before you feed it to the infant. Current perspective and wisdom that diluted cow's milk is sufficient for an infant is what we are challenging. So, what is a futuristic product? A product that brings revolution, disruption, and innovation in an industry. A product capable of changing the course of an industry. Infant nutrition business in India is valued over $5 billion, growing at a CAGR of 5%. When you give a product to the people of India costing one ninth of what they are buying right now, equally good and possibly better in terms of quality, it will for sure disrupt the infant nutrition market in India. While cow's milk modifier holds the potential to solve malnourishment, disrupt the infant nutrition market of India at the same time, it also makes a very strong business case. The market for this product in India is huge, with over 25 million babies being born, 45% of them needing alternative to mother's milk, and urbanization demanding top of feed. It's a one of a kind product. It cannot be replicated easily by the infant nutrition giants. It is highly economical and provides adequate nutrition. Cow's milk modifier won't just modify cow's milk, it will modify the innocent lives of millions of infants by saving them, extending them, and nourishing them. So that was it for my presentation. Now I'd like to show you the blueprint and the prototype. So where have we reached with cow's milk modifier? So we've not only formulated cow's milk modifier, but we've also decided what would the cow's milk modifier contain in terms of its nutrient? We've explored the product development side, regulatory side when it comes to getting certifications. Out of the three necessary certifications, we've already gotten two. We've taken care of distribution, the sales plan, the communication plan, and how we're going to promote the doctor, how we're going to promote the product, which is going to be through the doctors. We've also drawn a comparison between infant formula versus cow's milk modifier. And as you can see, our cow's milk modifier not only provides adequate nutrition, but at a very minimal cost. And that would be all. Thank you so much.
Hello, Dikshant. So, recognizing that your product includes ARA and DHA for vision and nerve growth, like which is similar to what baby formula started
Now, for
using in
the idea
1997.
face-off round, we would want to call upon the team IETNs in the house for their question.
Hello, Dikshant. So,
Hi.
as your product has ARA and DHA, which is basically for vision and nerve growth, similar to baby formulas, which started using them from 1997. And these have been criticized as marketing tactics as there is no scientific proof regarding their benefits. And the scientist also cannot replicate the same which is available in mother's breast milk because the extraction of these elements is from fermented algae and fungus using a toxic chemical called hexane. So, how do you address concerns regarding the potential risks associated with this method? And if we decide to move with your product ahead, how can families determine the appropriate amount for their infants as they grow? Because Cerelac and Lactogen have a particular proportion increasing every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, which with each increase in weight and all.
All right. I believe there are two parts of your question, so I'll take them one by one. So addressing your first part, where you brought up the concerns about the contents and the constituents of the product, one of the important things to understand is that FSSAI closely monitors every content that goes into any infant's feed, right? So like you said, there have been researches where these contents have been criticized. Important thing to note is the FSSAI has made no such criticism, otherwise they would have been banned, right? So unless and until FSSAI directs companies that these contents are actually harmful, these contents are used and they are believed that they are very important for the nerve growth, like you mentioned in your question. The second, could you repeat the second part of your question?
Like with every infant growing every week and with increase in weight, the
Ah,
proportion
correct,
has to
correct.
be increased.
Correct. Okay, so one of the things to note over here, the proportion remains the same in terms of when you're making an X amount of ml of meal. So, for example, for every half a liter of dilute every 1 liter of diluted milk that you use, you will use 40 grams of the powder, right? Or 40 grams of the cow's milk modifier. When a baby grows, the baby's feed increases. So, for example, a baby of 1 day consumes 500 ml, right, in a day, when a baby of 6 months consumes 1 liter, right? So basically, the proportion in terms of adding cow's milk modifier to the diluted milk remains constant. It's just the amount of milk given to the baby that changes over time.
But the nutritional needs will be different with age, right? As the
So,
infants grow, like that's why the lactogen and all also increase their feed per
correct,
serving as the child
correct.
grows.
So see, either you can increase the nutrition per serving, or you can increase the number of servings, right? So, for example, if a baby is consuming 500 ml of milk, right, it will get X amount of calories and nutrients. But as the baby grows, the baby demands more milk, right? So the baby is consuming more milk. The stomach of the baby expands, and the baby goes from consuming 500 ml per day to 700 to 900 to 1 liter when the baby is 6 months. So that takes care of the nutrition. So it's either you increase the nutrients per feed, or you increase the amount of the feed. It's one of the same.
Okay.
Thank you, Team IITians in the house, for your question. We would now proceed with the jury Q&A.
I'll go in first. Uh, Hey Dikshant, thanks for the pitch. Really like the idea. Having twins myself, I understand the problem that you're trying to tackle. Couple of questions. First is I couldn't follow through on your product development update. It seemed to me that you were covering that product is ready and you have got certain approvals as well. So if you could just help me with that. Second, you made a comment on that this product is something which is formulated in a way that it cannot be replicated by other players. So I would like to know more about that. And third, you mentioned the cost of per sachet to be 30 rupees. I would like to understand the bills of material if you have, and what all cost elements have you baked in. So these are the three questions, if you can help me.
Absolutely, sir. So, sir, addressing your first question, which is where are we in terms of product development? So, we have basically sat with research scientists, we've sat with industry experts who have worked in infant nutrition for over 30 years, and we formulated the
I would like to know
contents.
the names if you can make it. It will make it more, more
Uh,
valuable.
so sure. So for example, we've sat with people at Xeon. So Xeon is basically a manufacturing company which manufactures infant nutrition products, right? And we've closely worked with people from the infant nutrition business. So one of them is YK Verma, who's worked for Nestle for over 25 years, right? So we've basically formulated what all content should be there, and we've discussed with Xeon if manufacturing such a product is feasible or not. And for that, we need couple of certifications. So we have gotten the central FSSAI license. We have gotten the inclusion. We've included. So there's an inclusion license, FSSAI license, which basically says that we can manufacture infant products. And one of the licenses that the manufacturer needs to have from FSSAI, that the manufacturer can manufacture. That's also something which is present with the Xeon manufacturer. So that is where we are at the as of now when it comes to product development. The second thing, which was that I made a statement that it cannot be easily replicated. Actually, my bad. What I was trying to communicate was, since this is a product, if what I meant to say was that when you look at companies like Nestle right now, who are infant nutrition giants, and they have infant formula products. If they try to replicate cow's milk modifier, they will actually cannibalize from their existing business, right? Which has 400-500% profit margins. So for them, it would become very difficult to enter into cow's milk modifier and replicate a product. So that's what I was trying to communicate. And sir, as far as the third thing is concerned, which was
Bills
the
of
cost
material.
element. Yeah. So, sir, basically, the cost basically includes all the nutrients that are going in and the basic packaging that is there. It does not include the manpower cost, right? So, basically, the cost to us will come around 18 rupees, 16 to 18 rupees, right? Plus the manpower cost that we'll add to the product. And we're planning it to sell it to the consumer. The cost to consumer will be around 30 to 35. So, the MRP is going to be around 30 to 35 per sachet.
Do you have a breakup of that for our consumption?
No, sir, not as of now. I don't have a breakup of that, but
Okay.
those are estimated costs.
Okay. Thank you.
Most welcome, sir.
So
Yes.
just continue with. Sorry, go ahead,
Good.
Pawaz. Pawaz, go ahead.
Good. Good.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, thanks. Couple of topics from my side. See, you mentioned about cannibalizing. So, cannibalizing is a very usual business cycle. So, why do you think they will not do it? What's your
Uh,
prognosis?
So one of the major reasons why I think they wouldn't do it is because this is a huge business for Nestle, right? Who holds more than 90% of the market. Plus, it's a money minting business, right? It's basically a star product for them, right? So they have huge margins. So the cost for them should be around 70 rupees, and they sell it for MRP 270. So I believe coming from that product to a product which has lesser margins, right, which is currently new in the market, is a very big risk for a company like Nestle. And Nestle has had a history of, being, let's wait and watch when it comes to competitors and new entrants. So that is one of the biggest reasons why I believe, this cannibalizing would be more harmful for them than profitable.
What if they add this to their current product as a mix and just say that, okay, if you take our products, this comes as a free product and gives added nutrition. There is a very limited way to prove or disprove the added nutrition part, is what I understand.
Hmm.
So that can always happen, right?
That could happen, sir, but again, this is a product which cannot come as a scheme. It's a product which has to be prescribed by the doctors and be pushed through the doctors. So I think it would cause a problem from the doctor's perspective because he would surely question, you're selling this. It's basically the product solving the same problem. One is for 270, one is for 30. Where is this coming from? So I think they would face problems on that end.
And I mean, I saw that the time is up, but just a quick one. See, all of this requires a massive distribution network. How have you thought about it? Because I didn't hear that at all in your cost as well. So in your business case, how have you thought about it?
Sir, actually, yes, I've thought to the extent of a test launch and how we would go about it. So this is a product which requires a push from the MDOs, from the medical officers. So one of the things that I've thought is the biggest infant nutrition market is basically in Calcutta, which is the east region, and the southern region. So what I believe is, we could probably start from these markets like Chennai, Calcutta, and the rural areas around that, and then basically work through the sales first. So it does require distribution. So that can be partnered with. We can probably also partner with pharmaceutical companies, whether be it on the distribution front or on the MDO front. So yeah, I've basically thought for the next 6 months, maybe till the gestation period, and yeah, then it would probably grow using the revenue from the sales. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Dikshan.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, Team Elemente. That was an extremely insightful presentation. I would now like to call our next team, INTNs in the house. Can we have their video, please?
Hi, Dad.
Yes, Ria.
I was planning to go on the solo trip to Udaipur next week,
But it is not safe to travel solo.
but I'll book a travel guide service on reaching there.
What if you encounter some issues like this?
Namaste, fellow travelers. Today I'm going to delve into a matter that affects the core of our travel experiences in India. As shown in the snippets earlier, the travelers often encounter significant challenges with the existing guide industry, and what you have seen is just the tip of the iceberg. These snippets depicting the issues faced by visitors are just from a handful of tourist attractions, and just to acknowledge there are many grievances which remain unreported and are lurking beneath the surface of travel experiences.
Non-transparency in pricing, misleading information, unexpected cost, shortened tours, scams, and guides lacking proper knowledge. These aren't isolated incidents. They are pervasive challenges that have become an unfortunate part of our exploration journeys. Now, envision a solution that not only addresses this concern head on, but also transforms the way we experience travel. That solution is Sati, your reliable travel companion. Why Sati, you ask? Well, in the Mahabharata, Lord Krishna served as Arjuna's Sati, guiding him with utmost transparency, knowledge, and trust. That's the experience we aim to provide with our Sati, and that is what explains our logo. As we embark on this journey to redefine your travel experience, let me share some key features that set Sati apart from the traditional guide services.
Just like how Ola and Uber transformed the cab industry, we are looking forward to transform the tourist guide industry and address all of your issues, be it not transparency in pricing, be it getting scammed or receiving wrong information. First of all, to ensure your safety, Sati provides a full-time location tracking. You will always know wherever your Sati is going, where you are going with your Sati, where you are supposed to be with your Sati, and this offers a peace of mind throughout your journey.
Now let's talk about pricing issues. No more surprises or hidden cost. We believe in complete transparency. The tour packages will be communicated beforehand and our customer care will be there to explain every detail, ensuring a seamless experience. And to eliminate the risk of wrong person turning up as your guide, we are introducing an OTP-based tracking system. Your tour will only begin when you have met your Sati and has verified their identity.
So join on this transformative journey with us where each solution is designed for the peace of your mind. Sati is not just a name, it's a promise to guide you with transparency, knowledge and trust.
Because when you have Sati by your side, you are not just a tourist, you are an explorer on a journey of a lifetime.
Good morning, esteemed jury. Thank you for this opportunity to your dream. At Sati, our mission is to serve as a bridge between tourists and guides, streamlining their connection, saving valuable time and resources for both of them. The unique solutions which we have discussed in the video already, these address the pain points in the industry, positioning us with a distinct USP, such as OTP-based guide allocation, real-time location tracking, and this ensures a seamless and secure experiences for both the tourist and the guides. Coming to our business model, we plan to collaborate in B2B with travel giants such as Make My Trip and Thrilophilia, integrating our guide services with their travel packages. Simultaneously, in the B2C sector, we offer standalone guide services without who for the people who want a guide service without a complete travel package. To build a network of guides, robust one, we'll be partnering with the local guide organizations, providing them with a standardized platform similar to what Ola and Uber did for drivers.
Our key partnerships extend beyond travel agencies to include collaboration with accommodations, travel influencers, and government tourist boards, enhancing our visibility and offerings in the market. Sati will be accessible through our website as well as our app, supported by a very strong social media presence to engage our audience effectively. Our revenue will rely on the tour guide service commission fees, in-app purchases, and premium memberships. The customer relationship is at the core of our business, aligning with all our USPs. Our major cost revolves around key activities such as guide recruitment and training to ensure the service uniformity, backed by a very strong dedicated support team for bookings and grievance resolution, along with partnerships and promotions with different influencers and doing collaboration with hotels.
In our revenue projection, we aim to initially target 10 hotspot cities, capturing at least 1% of the total footfall over there. Charging a 10% commission on transactions, we anticipate an annual revenue of approximately 27 crores, which is excluding the peak seasons and surge pricing considerations. Our STP strategy, after identifying the growth areas, focuses on two primary targets, which is pilgrims, historical enthusiasts, along with foreign tourists. Our holistic marketing approach encompasses the four modes of marketing, ranging from digital, traditional, network, and affiliate.
To provide valuable insights similar to Zomato's food reviews, we'll offer blogs, photos, and videos for our customers to explore before making any kind of bookings. In future, we also plan to have an internal referral bonus system for our guides and encouraging them to refer groups to other guides in different cities and then earn commissions based on it. Additionally, we also look forward to a curated culinary experience giving to our customers as a part of our future offerings. Sati will not just be a travel service, it's a transformational service on how tourists and guides are connecting, ensuring that every journey is guided with trust, transparency, and providing you with unparalleled experiences.
Thank you everyone for this opportunity. And now we move over to our prototype section where we present our mock website. We would like Soumya to...
Welcome to Sati, your gateway to a world of seamless travel experiences.
Sati, derived from Lord Krishna's rose as Arjuna's charioteer, embodies guidance, wisdom, and trust. What sets Sati apart is our USP, which is safety first, transparent pricing, live tracking and OTP based starting system, and expert guides. As you navigate through our website, explore the array of services we provide. The booking process is simple and user friendly.
Choose your destination, explore our curated packages, and customize your journey. The power is in your hands to shape an adventure that suits your preferences and pace. Before you embark on your journey, delve into our blogs and customer reviews. Gain insights into the places you wish to explore. It's not just about the destination, it's about understanding the essence of each place, enriching your travel experience.
As the customer, you not only get to choose your destination but also your own Sarthi. At Sarthi, we invite you to not just to be a tourist but an explorer on a journey of a lifetime. Welcome to Sarthi.
Thank you, team. Can we have Team Elemente for the idea phase of round, please?
Hi team, so great presentation. So basically, what I understand from your business idea is that Sati hinges on the fact that you will bring all of the guides in all your target location under the same umbrella. So please shed light on why would they want to do that, right? Because most of the travel industry or the tourism industry is very disorganized. They have their own set of rules when you go to various locality. They have their own pricing systems, and I just want to understand why would they want to give a commission to you when they have a booming business. Secondly, one of the things that you mentioned over here about Sarthi, which was very good, was the safety feature, right? How you want to give safety to the users. Just throw some light on how will tracking your Sarthi or knowing where you are, especially when you're new to the area to begin with, would contribute to safety.
Coming to your first question, which is already answered over here, we answered it. Basically, the people will be onboarding with us because we will be saving them time and resources which they spend on getting customers. The guides have to spend like persons to go out at tourist locations. They have to ask people, do you want a guide, do you want a guide? This will be cut off. Also, the organizations which they are working with, the local organizations, they have a commission set to the owner. They have to pay 30-40% of the commissions they earn from the guides which the local organizations give. So this will be cut down to only 10%. So the majority will be going to the guides pocket only. And what was the second question again?
Sorry.
Your second
It
question?
was about the safety feature,
Location.
which you
Okay.
basically said that. Yeah.
Correct. So basically, many a times it happens, majority in the cases of foreign tourists, when they come to India, the guide might take them to a different location where they are not supposed to be. They might take them to a location or a shop where they have their commission already set. So, and they dupe them of their money. If many a times they take you to a different location and might drop you also. There are cases like this. So to prevent all this, you will always be knowing where you have to be with your source. Like the location will be given and you can exactly track are you exactly over there. Also in the case like if you are a child or girl maybe going out alone on a trip, so you can share that location with your family, so that will also be make sure that they are at the peace of their mind.
Okay.
Also,
Thank
our
you.
customer care service will be also tracking all our whole tour package. So, what all places are covered will be seen by our team as well. Thank you.
Thank you, team. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Thank you, team. That was a good presentation, interesting business model. Can you help me understand a little more about your lead generation? Because you're saying you want to be in B2C and B2B as well, and how the revenue breakups looks like, say, first 60 days, 90 days, if you start right now.
So, firstly, what we'll be doing is to get the lead generation, we'll be collaborating with influencers, with travel bloggers. We'll ask them to promote our website. Also, we'll be collaborating with MMT and Thrilophilia and many other local organizations. We'll ask them to take us on board as a guide service along with their travel plans, so that we'll also be giving them commissions for that too. Also with the hotel accommodations, the people who travel and reach the destination and book their guides like after reaching the destination, So the hotels will also be recommending us as to choose us as their guide. So this will be the lead generation. For the revenue breakup, we haven't as far as at first we don't have a 6 month breakup, but with a full fledged, if we get on even with the 1% of the total footfall which happens at a particular destination, we have estimated costs of that. So this is over there, like each city, how much revenue are we aiming at without the peak surges? Like there are particular seasons we have shortlisted. Like for Varanasi, the peak season is November. For Udaipur, it is December. For Rishikesh and all, it is the summer season. So we have curated these 10 cities depending on the different months of peak seasons.
Would you be able to tell me what percentage will be B2C and what percentage will be B2B?
No, that will vary. That is that we are not focusing on exactly B2B or exactly B2C. We'll be serving both because many a times people will book a total travel plan. Many a times people just from maybe from like for a person like me who is visiting Varanasi. So we are from UP only. So we might not book a total travel plan, but someone who's coming from the south might need a total travel plan. So that differs from person to person.
So I would also like to add on what Sagar said. So what we are trying to communicate by saying B2B and B2Cs will be collaborating with B2B platforms such as Make My Trip, Trilophilia for people and for customers who want to like book the entire package. So when they are booking the hotels or when they are booking the tour packages from MMT, they will be seeing book your Sati page, book your Sati mark on their website itself, where they can directly go to our web, which will take them directly onto our website, for example, as it is shown here. And also for people who are just doing doing the bookings of their travel. For example, if I'm booking a train service and I don't want any hotels or tour packages or through along, so they can directly visit to our website directly, as which will be our B2C platform. So they can directly only book the guide for one day from our website. So it is both. So as such, we have no percentage divided between both. We will be like partnering, and it completely depends upon the customer what ways he would like to select, he or she would like to select the one.
Tarun?
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, thanks for the presentation. Now, I'll just summarize what I understood, right? The main value proposition is basically making it a Uber for guides, right? Everything else is frills. The regular travel website has all of it. The additional nuance that you're bringing is largely the marketplace for guides. Is that correct?
Marketplace for guides, it will be fully tracked, and also the itinerary will be fixed,
Yeah,
which you if
all
you
those are
would
not
have.
differentiators. Travel Clan and all, they do it, right? So the only differentiator, basis my understanding of this ecosystem, is creating a marketplace for guides. I'll just focus my question on that, right?
Correct.
Now, you are talking about a supplier side ecosystem, which is guides. So, do you have any kind of a primary or secondary research on how that ecosystem works and what are the challenges that we see in that ecosystem before we even talk about creating a marketplace?
Yes, so for that we contacted at least 10 local guide organizations. Also, we contacted guide from our competitors, which will be basically TripAdvisor. So we contacted guides over
Mhm.
there also. So the major issue
What is a
which
guide
is
according
there,
to you? What is the definition of a guide?
a guide is a person who travels throughout with the tourist. He takes you
Mhm.
places. He shows you what from the eyes of a person who knows everything. He's
Mhm.
basically a guru over there who knows about that place, and
Okay,
that is what a guide to us is in a tour.
okay,
And
okay,
for us, the guide should be safe. He should not dupe us of money. He should not be a fraudulent person. He should not be someone turning up randomly. So this is
okay,
what we faced while we talked many local organizations, many TripAdvisor guides. So what happened? They were saying, okay, we'll provide you a guide, but the guide will not be fixed. Anyone can turn up on that day. So they were
mhm.
saying this. Also, there will be no itinerary given. Like where will they taking the person first? They have the itinerary. Okay, this all will be covered, but time wise, it is not covered. So basically, we are basically mirroring Urban Company's model over here. What Urban Company does is they have for a 45-minute session, they'll have every 10 minutes, they have like, okay, this will happen at this minute, this will happen at this minute. So this is not provided by any of the travel agencies.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll be addressing this issue also.
Okay, we
Also,
are
the
running out
guide,
of time. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. We're running out of time. One last question. Why do you think your idea is defensible? If you can just quickly give me that answer, and I think we'll be done. When I say defensible, it cannot be replicated by others.
it definitely can be replicated, but we are the first movers. Will be having the advantage of being a first mover in the area of location tracking and 24/7 support. None of the guide services is having a support system for the customer. They have travel packages and they get reviews. If the guide is bad, they get a total bad review on the travel package as a whole. But we will be focusing only on the guide service. So this will be our defense, like because there's a 24/7 guide support and also our location tracking and OTP based guide allocation. Like no one else can turn up instead of our guide. So this will be a USP and we'll be having the benefit of first movers.
Okay.
Also currently in the industry there are more than 1,500 startups that are working on this travel and tour guide industry, but none of them is focusing on the tourist guide, providing the tourist guide based on the customers' choices and providing the flexibility to customers. So they are just focusing on providing the assisting models or the curated packages. But what our USP is that we are giving customer the whole chance to select their own tourist guide based on the reviews and based on the referrals of the guides that they have experienced in the past from other customers. So that is the main USP, and that is what I think that makes our idea apart from from other people in the market.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team IITians in the house. Now let's allow our jury members a minute to complete evaluating the teams. While they make their assessments, why don't we have some fun? Here's an interesting question for the audience. All you got to do is answer in the comment section to win exciting TUP merchandise. Can we have the question, please? Thank you. We request the winners to please reach out to us, which is Prachi from IIM Udaipur, to please reach out to us on our social media handles, or please do write it to us at support@unstop.com. Moving on, we are now ready for our next teams. I'd like to call upon the teams Apollo versus Team Silent Storm. Can we have Team Apollo's pitch video played on screen, please?
Life is amazing, but it can change at any moment.
I'm sorry, we'll have to amputate your leg.
The smallest task seemed like a big hurdle now. It seems like my friends are moving ahead of me, and I'm struggling to catch up.
This could happen to any one of us. According to WHO, the estimated number of amputees in the developing world is 40 million. In India, as per the latest census, the population of persons with disabilities is 2.8 crores, which accounts for 2% of the total population. Losing the ability to walk and perform daily activities causes inconvenience along with psychological and social challenges. Psychologically, amputees suffer from PTSD 4 times more than the rest of the population, along with adverse psychological effects including a decrease in self-confidence, a sense of inadequacy, and a distorted perception of body image, ultimately affecting the overall quality of life. According to WHO, the availability and utilization of assistive products remains limited, with only 1 in 10 individuals having access to assistive products they require. This lack of access to assistive devices further exacerbates the difficulties faced by people with disabilities, hindering their ability to perform daily activities, participate in society, and achieve a good quality of life. With our offering, Swabhiman, we aim to bridge this gap. In phase 1, our objective is to design and develop a low-cost prosthetic foot for the amputees in India. We are currently in the testing phase for the prototype of the same. This prosthetic foot uses a glass fiber design and it will have a production cost of 10 to 12,000 per unit. We aim to sell this foot at 14 to 15,000 to the end user. As per our estimates, it will cost us around 20 crores to set up our production facility, including R&D, testing, and safety compliances. On a conversion percentage of just 2% of India's amputees each year, we can see break-even for the firm in the third year itself. In phase 2, we aim to leverage the network of prosthetists we built in the first phase to provide a website and application to penetrate the rural markets where most of our users exist. We aim to provide a one-stop portal for prosthetic care. This includes video tutorials for rehabilitation exercises and online consultation with prosthetists. In this phase, we also aim to form tie-ups with government bodies and defense forces to provide our services to the most needy. In phase 3, we plan on expanding our portfolio of prosthetic devices with further R&D. We aim to use India's position as a value medical care provider to provide affordable prosthetics to the world.
Greetings, everyone. Imagine that you or your loved one has met with an accident or is a long-term suffering patient of diabetes and needs to undergo amputation in order to save their lives. What impact does amputation have on the lives of amputees? According to NSSO, 79% of amputees in rural areas of India face significant challenges with limited awareness about prosthetic devices and financial constraints, which often force them to rely on wheelchairs or crutches, which do not fully restore locomotion. Amputees experience PTSD 4 times the rate of general population, and it not only reduces employment opportunities, but also diminishes the overall quality of life. The current Indian prosthetic foot market presents a stark contrast. Domestically produced low-cost, low-functional options with limited adaptability versus internationally imported high-end prosthetic feet, which is priced beyond the reach of the majority. This market landscape reveals a clear gap, which is a void, affecting 79% of amputees in rural areas. Swabhiman aims to fill this gap, providing a solution that not only meets the functional needs of amputees, but also enhances their quality of life.
To realize this dream, we have divided our approach into 3 phases. In phase 1 of our business, we aim to raise awareness and increase the adoption of prosthetics in India. After conducting extensive user research and clinical testing, we aim to launch the product in select cities in Punjab and Haryana, slowly increasing our availability across India and providing our offering to the most needy in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. In phase 2, we plan to improve the accessibility to prosthetic service and also provide prosthetists more skin in the game by setting up online consultation services via our dedicated app and website. We also plan to launch offline stores in certain locations where the demand is high, as well as set up partnerships with government bodies and defense forces to improve our reach and provide our services to the most needy. In phase 3 of our business, we will expand our product portfolio to provide a holistic solution to affordable yet functional prosthetic care.
Our journey begins with strong partnerships, collaborating with expert prosthetists and healthcare providers, NGOs, and Viklang Sangh for impactful outreach campaigns. We forged strategic alliances with the government to ensure subsidies and with the Indian Defence Forces, providing prosthetic healthcare to the true heroes of our nation. Swabhiman's key activities are anchored in innovation. We secure patents, attain ISO certifications, and invest in R&D to enhance the functionality at the same time reducing costs. Our commitment extends to meticulous manufacturing, stringent quality control, and strategic marketing campaigns that resonate with our audience. For amputees, Swabhiman offers not just a prosthetic foot, but affordable and life-changing experience. Improved mobility, access to remote consultations through our Swabhiman application, and a supportive community contributing to a reduced psychological stress, fostering hope and resilience. Prosthetist finds a new revenue stream, expanding their clientele through our online consultation services. Loyalty is rewarded, creating a win-win partnership. Our commitment doesn't end with a sale. We provide a support network through online communities, helplines, and periodic check-ins. Collaborations with rehabilitation centers ensure personalized fittings and ongoing support. 5 free consultations for every Swabhiman foot purchase and continuous feedback gathering and contributing to our mission of continuous improvement. Our focus is on amputees from low-income backgrounds and those who are dissatisfied with current prosthetic solutions, healthcare providers seeking more patients, NGOs, government healthcare organizations, and of course the heroes of our nation, the Indian Defense Forces. Revenue streams flow from direct sales to end users, bulk purchases by healthcare institutions, NGOs, and government programs. Our online consultation service and training programs for healthcare professionals further diversify our income streams.
Our product is currently in the prototyping phase, and here is an overview of what the Swabiman app is going to look like. Our vision at Swabiman is to empower amputees worldwide, ensuring that no individual is compelled to endure a diminished quality of life due to challenges related to affordability or accessibility. Swabiman isn't just a business, it's a movement. Join us in empowering lives one step at a time. Together, let's redefine possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Apollo. We'd now like to invite Team Silent Storm for the idea face of round.
Hi, Team Apollo. Great presentation. I want to ask one question. So, I found your design similar to the products available in the market, and you are using 3D printing for glass fiber, which is costly. And I have personally worked in customized implant industry and the 3D printing industry for 1 year. And the cost you are claiming of 12,000, I find it pretty lower side for the glass and carbon fiber designs. Let's assume you make it in 12,000. How you are going to survive with 2,000 margin, which is close to 16%? This is gross margin because you have mentioned in your slide that our production cost is 12,000 and 2,000 will be our margin. Considering other costs like distribution, logistic, and other costs, your net margin will be close to 5% or 0%. With all this constraint, I want to understand your claim of 100% growth in the market. You are increasing your conversion rate from 2% to 4%, all the way to 32% in 5 years. I want to understand this part, how you are going to achieve this.
Hi, Chirag, and thank you so much for the question. So, to first answer the question that you initially asked was about how that the product seems similar to you on paper to other competitor products. So, there is a big differentiator here when it comes to just the product itself. The product is a glass fiber 3D printed material, and like you mentioned that it you think that the product itself is the raw material itself is expensive, while honestly, it is not as much anymore because we have talked to multiple suppliers in the region of Punjab and Haryana, and not just one, not just two, like more than 5 or 6 of them. And they have claimed that they can sell us the pellets for a very low cost, and which will amount to the production of the glass fiber at a cost of just 1,500 per foot, which is quite minimal. As when you think on a bulk scale, it will also reduce further down the line, right? Because of economies of scale. So that answers your first question. The differentiator within our product in that is that we're using a special algorithm, which is a KC theory algorithm that we're using. It's called a LLTE approach, which is for transtibial impurities, and it is very new and it's something that we have innovated upon ourselves, and we're going to secure a patent for the same. So this is how our product design, which might look similar in terms of structure, is very different when it comes to the functionality and the activity level of the amputees that we are targeting. So that is the key differentiator in giving us functionality and giving us the cost that I've already answered. I would like Kshitij to take the question for answer forward from here.
Yeah. Hi, Chirag. So, regarding the production cost of 12,000 that we have mentioned initially, that encompasses everything from marketing and distribution expenses as well, not just the production of the single unit. So that is why the cost is at that. When you're looking at a per unit price of just production, it will be around 8 to 9,000 per unit. That is what the estimate we have gotten from our suppliers and the whole research regarding the manufacturing process. So when you're saying 12,000, that includes all the distribution and any camps, that all the marketing plans that we have kept. So we have taken all of that into consideration. Our objective is to get to scale, and like you said, the conversion percentage is rising. The logic behind that is we've done our research to find that there's no major player that is dominating in this market. It's basically an open market as of now. There are players there, but none of them have the scale. We plan to actually reach out to the mass users through various GTM campaigns, and through that is we are sure that we will be able to convert like 32% by the end of 5th year.
Okay.
Thank you, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Thanks, team, for this proposal. Very exciting to see you guys working in the space. Now, so for me, this space is not much about business. It's more about the product, and I think everything else shall follow, right? If you are able to make what you are claiming, right, I think people would reach out to you. So that is how I understand. Now, since we are talking more about product, I want to understand. Uh, I know that IIT Bombay, IIT Guwahati, and many other institutions like Tata's and all, they are working on this and continuously improving prosthetics. Now, what are you doing different and in your team? Where is the subject matter expertise? Because this is not just another FMCG product. This is to do with health, right? So I want to understand who amongst you, or how are you able to get that subject matter expertise, and what is the status of your prototype? While I see some descriptions here, right? At what stage is in your prototype? Your prototype in?
Right, sir. I would like to take up the question, sir. Thank you so much for the question. So, sir, there were multiple questions asked. So, firstly, I would like to answer the question of who was the subject matter expertise that we have tapped and how are we going about this. So, sir, it was me. I was doing my final year project on this aspect of it. And for this, I went to Tyner Orthotics, which is in Chandigarh. And there I worked with multiple expert prosthetists who are there in the field of Chandigarh, Punjab, Haryana, and all of that circle. We came across, they were trying to solve the problem. They were going to enter in the prosthetics division and they were trying to solve this problem of providing affordable prosthetic care. So by contacting and forming a network with multiple prosthetists, talking to them about the pain points that the people are facing, what are the fitments, what are the different issues that the people are facing, about the stump, about the activity level, what are the different criteria that come into play, we were able to get all the information from there, onto which we formed our design prototype, sir. So the subject matter expertise comes from the prosthetists that we have formed a connection over and a network over the past few years. And answering the question about, so could you repeat the second part of your question, sir?
At what stage your product is in, right? So first
Right,
is
sir.
about understanding the market, which you're saying that, okay, you talk to Tylenol kind of brands and you got a sense, right? But I want to understand more about your understanding about prosthetics, about your interaction with patients who require it, and also what is the stage in which your product is in, because these things cannot be just developed and taken to market. They requires a significant amount of testing and before we even launch it. So that is missing in the overall presentation. If you can cover that.
Right, sir. So we did not include it into the presentation, but we talked about a ISO certification that we are going to get because, as you said, sir, very correctly, that this is something about which is going to affect the lives of the amputees. It is going to replicate a part of the body. So safety, legal, and regulatory compliances are extremely important. So there's an ISO called ISO 22675, which is for transtibial amputees regarding the prosthetic foot. We acquired that ISO, we bought it out. We kind of initially, the first design was reverse engineering from the structural requirements of the prosthetic foot that are required. We reverse engineered it initially. The first design was gotten through that way. Then using the LLT algorithm that I talked about through Casey theory, we were able to simulate different designs which dealt
That
upon the weight and
algorithm, if
every
you can
aspect.
explain it in more English for me, please.
Sorry, sir.
The algorithm which you are mentioning, it's technical, right? If you can
Right,
just
sir.
help me in a more simpler manner.
Absolutely, sir. So, sir, LLTE stands for lower level trajectory equipment algorithm. What it does is, sir, basically a foot is a 3D product. So it has a height, width, dimension, and a thickness attached to it. Now, depending upon the material, all three segments, all three dimensions of the product will change. Obviously, because of the tensile strength, ultimate tensile strength, and the fatigue life of it. So, by keeping a key target in our head, also by using specific key holes and key design features that we're using in our product, we were able to significantly reduce the weight, cost, and we were also able to play with the flexibility of the materials that are disposable in the market today due to the emerging manufacturing trends as such. Earlier, 10 years back, 5 years back, this was not possible, and that is why we are able to do this today,
Okay.
and
Do you
which is
have
why
the
this was
real
not possible.
prototype? Do you have the real prototype with you, or is it just on a software or something?
So
Do you
currently, it
have a
is
physical
just
prototype?
no, sir. We do not have a physical prototype as we
Mhm.
talk right now, but we have the design and simulation results ready, and the prototyping will soon begin at IIT Roper. So we've talked to Dr. Amit there, and he's going to help us with the
IIT
prototyping as
which
well as
one?
the
Sorry.
testing. IIT Roper, sir. IIT Roper.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So
sir, we
physical
have the lab
prototyping is
facilities.
pending.
Correct,
Okay.
sir.
So till now you have only simulated on computer softwares.
Correct, sir. Because sir, requiring to form the connections with these institutions of credibility and getting that ISO and then all these safety requirements and legal compliances along with the clinical testing and requiring pain points took a quite amount of time. But we're very soon on it, and we have already formed a connection with the IIT Ropar. Everything is good to go, and we'll start with the prototyping soon, sir.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so I would
Power
like
sale.
to add maybe like one or two
Go
lines on
ahead.
that. So when you're talking about the main problem in the market, that is primarily towards the awareness and adoption towards prosthetics. Currently, that part is missing. There are options out there, obviously not in the price range that we are targeting, but there are options out there. The fact is that a lot of the people, they're still reliant on wheelchairs and crutches. And our primary goal, especially in the phase one, is to firstly build that awareness towards people and actually show it to them that there is an affordable option that can give them that quality of life.
Got it. Hey, Meenal, we'll just take one more minute. I know we are over time. Pavas, over to you.
Yeah. I have just simple questions for you. One is, what is the lifetime value for this product? Like, by when the consumers would have to change? And second is about your consulting. You're saying that 5 free consulting. What are you planning to charge after that? If you can help me with that.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for the question, sir. So to answer your first question, so first of all, I would like Kshitij to answer the second question because we've got that ready as well. So Kshitij, could you answer the commission breakdown for the app?
Yeah. So on average, we plan for every amputee who has purchased the Swabhiman foot from us, we plan to offer them 5 free consultations on the application that we will be launching in phase two of our business plan. So we will be training them on how to use the application through social camps as well, and through that we are offering 5 free consultations. Post that, we will be our price range would range between 500 to $1,000 per consultation, and but we don't have a proper breakdown on the margin for the prosthetists, but nonetheless we plan to keep it as minimal as possible because our objective is to work at scale and work and actually provide a change of life to people, amputees in tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
So talking about the product life that you talked about, so according to ISO 22675, for a glass fiber prosthetic foot, we are planning to create the life of the product for a 3-year period. Now, so this 3-year period will change because it depends upon the activity level of the amputee. Now, this activity level of the amputee is derived from the number of steps that the amputee is taking per day. So suppose if an amputee is taking 8,000 steps per day, that means K3 level of activity, which means that this is highly active. So the product life will be 3 years. Now, suppose an amputee is using K2 level, he's a 4,000 step walker or a 5,000 step walker per day, then the product life will obviously increase from 3 years to 3.5 years or even 4 years, depending upon what is the activity level of the user. But what we aim to give is 8,000 steps activity level of K3 for a 3-year period, after which it will still work, but it will be preferable for them to change and get a new prosthetic foot in that case.
Okay. Just one quick question, yes and no question. So, are you considering the standard wear and tear for the 3-year period?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, team, for an insightful presentation. Moving on, we would like to have Team Silent Storm. Team, can we have their video, please?
My name is Chirag. I am proposing a software that will automate the customized instrument design for oral cancer surgery using the power of generative AI. This will increase the speed and accuracy of surgery and eventually lead to a normal life for a patient. My inspiration for this idea stems from my work experience in the healthcare industry. I had the privilege of closely collaborating with the leading surgeons in India who operate on the oral cancer patients. What I discovered was a critical problem. The accuracy of oral cancer surgery heavily depends on the surgeon's judgment, increasing the risk of patients not getting the quality of life. Also, current customized solution is not scalable as they involve a lot of human intervention. The software I am designing will follow 6 simple steps to reduce the designing and planning by around 90%. Step 1. Import the patient CT scan. Step 2. AI will generate 3D bones from the CT scan. Step 3. Surgeon will input specific requirements related to surgery. Step 4. AI will pre-plan the mouth construction. Step 5. Customized instrument will be designed automatically by the AI. Step 6. Customized instrument will be 3D printed at the hospital venue. This customized instrument will make sure the reconstruction is exactly as per plan. Hospital will be provided with our software and it can be operated by surgeons or their assistants. Fees will be charged on per case basis to hospitals. From a business perspective, the potential impact is enormous. The Indian Cancer Society reports over 1 lakh cases of oral cancer annually. Our solution not only saves life but also makes a sound business sense. It addresses a critical need in the market, enhances the surgical outcome, and improves the patient quality of life. Precision, automation, and the scalability are the cornerstone of this idea. And with your support, we can make this vision to a reality. Thank you.
Yes. Hello, Jagdish. So, there's a need in the market for quality of healthcare, specifically in the young population. They want a quality of healthcare. Next, if you look at the awareness as well, awareness among the surgeons are there for the customized implants as well. Accessibility, if we talk about, is increasing due to penetration of insurance, both from the corporate side and the personal side. Also, in Gujarat, for example, if we talk about where these cancer surgeries are completely free, including the cost of implants, right? Now, the affordability. If we look at the cost of customized implant compared to a surgery, it is very low. And if we are talking about the cutting guide or the instrument, it is even more low, more lower side, right? And the experience, if we talk about after surgery experience for customized implant patient, is really, really good compared to the standard implants because the implant is designed in such a way that it is customized for that particular patient. So definitely it will provide the better outcome. So everything is right? What's the problem? The key problem lies in the scalability. Surgeons actually want this solution for each and every surgery, but the current problem is that they are not able to get this implants, customized implant for each and every patient because the kind of surgery cycle they perform is really highly frequent. For example, if we talk about the oral cancer surgery, generally a big hospital performs 2 oral cancer surgery daily. So for any particular company to provide a customized cutting guide for 2 surgery is really, really difficult considering the current flow. Current flow, if you look at, it follows this type of step where hospitals provide CT scan to a company, they convert this into a 3D model, they do the planning and designing of implant and guide, they 3D print it, then they send it to hospital. So the tech is around 4 to 5 days for each surgery. So scalability is not there and the constraint are there from the supply side, right? So what I'm proposing is we can easily automate each and every step in this value chain and we can create an ecosystem which will increase the scalability of this model. And the value proposition of our solution will be we'll reduce the surgery time by taking the planning outside the operation theater. We'll increase the accuracy because already we have pre-planned at a more accurate level in the software itself. And the cutting guide will make sure the execution is there exactly as per plan. And the cost per unit. If I talk about once we automate, the human involvement will reduce, and because currently we are providing one particular human resource to one particular surgical instrument design. So this is the cost is very high. We can reduce this cost by automating this solution. If we go through the value chain and how competition is performing in this industry, if we talk about auto segmentation, which is converting CT scan into a 3D bone model, a couple of companies like Materialize, 3D Slicer, Synopsys, and Relu are working for a specific surgical type or in a specific value chain to automate this. For example, Materialize is trying to automate this CT scan to a 3D model conversion using a AI. A Striker and the 3D system are into designing specific uh, objects, implants. And if we talk about Reliance healthcare ecosystem, we can start with a feeding data to AI algorithm. where we do the pilot test with the fibula cutting guide primarily for two reasons. The frequency is very high and the cost is also low. Adaptability will be high. We can set up a lab at a hospital venue. If we talk about the unit economics, we can charge a per case basis to our surgeon, where we'll charge 5,000 rupees, considering 28 state and the 8 union territories, two hospitals per state. uh, 72 hospitals in general are there, and we come around to 28 26 crore close to profit a yearly. So that's my proposal for this.
Thank you, team. We would now like to request Team Apollo for the idea face off round.
Yeah, hi Chirag. Good presentation. Our question is regarding the manufacturing process and the like the companies that you've mentioned. So, in this rapidly evolving landscape of transforming digital technologies, where everything is changing rapidly, there are new technologies coming up daily. Um, like major players like 3D Slicer can basically replicate this model that you are suggesting, right? They're already working at two phases of the cycle or supply cycle, right? So what is how do you plan to safeguard against the replication and keep a competitive edge in case that is going to happen, which is very likely if this is a business avenue?
Sure. Siddhar, is a really good question. So first, I will talk about the rapidly changing digital healthcare system. First, the customized implant is new for the world as well, and specifically for India, it's really new. So, and if I talk about 3D slicer, it's more into a designing part. What I am suggesting is we'll utilize this, we'll set up the hardware lab at a hospital venue, for example, with the doctor. They will do the designing with the resident, because currently the healthcare courses, if you look at the medical courses, they are also incorporating this 3D design, 3D printing. So we are going to set up a lab at a hospital venue. We are going to support that lab with our expertise and our algorithm. But 3D Slicer is a software company and not a hardware company. They cannot directly go to hospital and set up a lab there. That's not their business model. So turning down for established company will be really, really difficult. I understand they might be at edge with the current software they have, but we can easily do this because I have personally worked in on this algorithm for past 1 year, and we were successful in automating the planning part. Designing part we were working on. So, and in coming to a manufacturing part, if we talk about the cost of 3D printer, Formlab, which is very big brand in the healthcare 3D printing, their medical grade 3D printing for plastic part will be around 5 to 6 lakh, and the material is also affordable compared to the healthcare other healthcare cost for the surgery.
Chirag, just a quick follow up to that. Like there are a lot of big healthcare and hospital brands in India, like Apollo, who are investing very heavily into tech, right? This is something that is replicable, right? It's basically an ML model, and they would obviously have much more data to build their models and might have a much more accurate design, right? So, is there nothing preventing them to, build this themselves?
Okay, I'll answer you specifically here. A couple of knowledge of couple of field is required. First, I myself worked with the Zydus Hospital and the Army hospitals. So here the key problem was you need a mechanical engineer who understand the designing part. You need a knowledge of a person who has solid understanding of healthcare and the surgery as well, and a coding part. Coding part I understand can be outsourced, but the solid designing and healthcare combined with one person is really difficult in this industry. And currently, one of the issue with scalability is that a lot of companies are facing issue with finding this type of talent, so they have to extensively spend on training part. So this is the only reason they are there, and they are at a stalemate right now.
Thank you so much, teams. We'll now begin with the jury Q&A.
Hey, thanks, Chirag. I'm very excited seeing the kind of business plans or problems that you guys are trying to fix. Now, oral cancer, I have a fair bit of idea in the space. Obviously, not to the extent that you have, but a basic question. Uh, the implants that are used in such cases, my understanding is that doctors decide the implant specifications post the surgery, because before the surgery is difficult to estimate the kind of radical operation that it might require, right, for a complete cleanup. So in your planning, right, from what I see here, it seems like you're proposing this planning to happen before the surgery. So if you can just throw some light on that.
Sure, sir. I got your question. Sir, for we can use a CT scan. Generally, CT scan has a gray value. Each grain has a different value based on the density. So
Mhm.
we can found out the cancer affected part from CT scan, and
Mhm.
surgeons generally find it easy from the CT scan digital file. So we will use the digital file here, and we generally the thumb rule is you take 10 mm factor of safety for the cancer from the cancer affected
Yeah,
part.
for radical
So we
clearing. Yeah.
yes. Then we remove that part, right? So customize implant, I understand. Here, what I'm proposing, for example, I'll give you example. This part is cancer affected. We'll cut this part, remove this part. Now that we have two options. Either we can insert the titanium part, which is matching this exact curvature, which we can make because we have CT scan 3D model beforehand the surgery, right? So this part can be 3D printed. Metal 3D printing is there in the medical industry and it's heavily used. I have worked and supported 50 plus surgery. So second option we use the fibula from our leg. So which is a bone, stick type bone. We create multiple segments, 3 segments, for example, to recreate this curvature, right? So, but before we can plan this as well. So we have the CT scan of full body. We can plan this and make a cutting guide. This cutting guide will act as a proxy where surgeon has the clear defined slots, cut that part, and it will automatically generate that curvature through that 3 pieces of bone. Surgeons can take that to the cancer affected like removed part,
Chirag, I'll
and they
just
can
pause you
generate
there.
the
This is quite an elaborate topic, okay? Because as you say all of this, I have so many things that come to my mind, right? But we'll limit the discussion from a business point perspective, okay?
sure.
So I have two questions before I hand it over to Pavas. First is, if it is as simple as putting a 3D printer, right? Uh, I'm sure many hospitals, including the one which Reliance has in Mumbai, right, they would have done it, right? So, what is it that is preventing hospitals to do it? Point number one. Point number two, my understanding of oral cancer is that the patients who suffer from oral cancer are largely those who consume tobacco in some form. And my understanding is it is largely also results in a lot of cost implications for those families. While over here you put a cost of 5,000 rupees, it seems to me that this is just the cost of the product, right? The implant. I don't understand which material, what material, sterilization, etc., etc. I'm sure that those will also go in. But where does the cost of surgery come in? Because that is the big element, right? So if you can just address these 2 points in quick 30 seconds, don't go into technicals before power
Sure.
sticks.
So, the bottleneck here is the designing and the planning part. So, designing of the customized implant requires a one human resource. So, they need a 1 day for designing it. So, there is a constraint from the supply side, and the talent which we require needed two skills. First is the mechanical design understanding and the healthcare understanding till the surgery level. So, this two skill is not available in the market. Combined two skill for in one person is not available in the market. So, hospitals can put a 3D printer, but the previous part of designing and planning is not available with hospitals right now. And sir, sorry, can you repeat the second question?
Second question is on the cost. While you mentioned 5,000 or
Ah,
some cost working you have done.
yes, yes, yes,
My main question is, or my understanding is that in such cases, the larger cost element is on the surgery itself and the
yes,
rehabilitation, right?
yes.
Implant, etc., or plastic surgery, etc. The materials used, yeah, they're expensive, but they are not like it'll break your pocket. But
Hmm.
the cost of the surgery itself and the rehabilitation is the main thing.
Okay.
So putting those together and understanding that in India at least, majority of the patients who have oral cancer, right, do not come with that kind of a strong financial background, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
what kind of patients are we talking about here, and what is the overall cost implication
Okay.
we are trying to solve for?
So, sir, to answer this question, we'll focus on. So, there is a fact that I work with Zydus Army hospitals, and these hospitals generally perform 2 surgeries per day, and that's the fact, right? So, at a big hospital level, this is being performed 2 surgeries daily. And second, you talked about the affordability of for other patients who come from a humble background. So, if we talk about the government hospitals, for example, Gujarat Cancer Research Institute, there is in Gujarat you can take the benefit of Ayushman Bharat and the Ma Vatsalya Yojana, which also covers the surgery cost along with this implant cost as well, customized implant cost as well. So this thing of government schemes are covering all this, and with the Ayushman Bharat now applicable all across India, you can have this surgery at a government cost only.
Okay, Pawas, over to you.
Yeah, I just have one question, Chirag. Firstly,
Yes, sir.
I don't understand much about this space altogether, but for me, it seems like it is more a process innovation rather than a business innovation. And I just want to get my head cleared up on that really quickly on this. So
Hmm.
here, you're trying to make a SaaS model. Is it a software as a service model that you're trying to make? Okay,
Yes, sir.
and so help me understand why would a current competition would not do that, and why would the hospitals actually try to onboard you as one of the vendors?
Uh, Sir, current competition is not able to do because there are two types of player. One is standard player and like Stryker, Johnson and Johnson. They don't want to go into this customized implant because their profit in standard implants is so high that they it doesn't make sense to go in this space. Second, for players like Jajal Medical and other players, they are into customized implant, but they have set business model. Their revenue streams are coming from this. If we then they heavily invest in this model of developing this algorithm, it's really difficult to generate the profit from other side as well. Because if they invest their resources here, they are startup, their funding is limited right now. So there is two things. They don't have the research team ready in terms of the development of AI algorithm to automate this because you need data sets. They have data sets, but they don't have talent to develop this because of the cost limitation. And their current business model is set and they have to survive on that money.
Why do you say it requires AI? I'm not able to understand because we are talking about using
Sir,
CT scan data, right? Where is
hmm.
AI coming into picture?
Okay. So we are automating the segmentation, which is a conversion of CT scan, 2D CT scan into a 3D model. Here, we have to identify the clear boundaries of the bone, right? So if we
Huh?
look at the each and every case for cancer, the cancer can affect in numerous way and the shape will be affected, right? The cancer affected part or any trauma patient where accident is happening, right? So bone will be deformed. So model need to be trained on different types of bone, so we have to supply it with a different set of data, normal bone,
So
accident
how will you
affected
build that
bone.
MLL?
Sir, generally the random forest algorithm try to supply the model with different set of data. So we have to procure a data of bones, CT scan of different patients. We have to supply it, train it. First, we have to do the tagging of each and every one.
Mhm.
That this is fibula, this is femur, something like that.
Yeah,
And
I
if, for
understand
example,
that. So you're saying that a lengthy process of MLL would be required to get this off the data.
yes, so it's a research heavy process where you need healthcare research, design research, at the same time you need the AI research as well because the
Mhm.
kind of data you are playing with is a CT scan with each node. You have to identify really clear boundaries I understand there is a gray
Okay,
value which can
final
differ.
question. Yeah, final question. Right from like building the MLL for the AI, building the
Hmm.
required software platform, getting the necessary hardware, getting the
Hmm.
required clearances from various health institutions and approvals.
Hmm.
For you,
Hmm.
if we start today, what
Hmm.
is the go-to-market timeline?
I would
Right
say
from the first
mid.
testing on patients to second level of testing, finally commercializing. What is that complete calendar looking
Sure.
like?
So I'll bifurcate it into three phase. If I
No, no,
talk
just
about
give
my
me one
knowledge part,
answer. Just give me one answer. Don't elaborate. We have run out of time. Tell me an answer.
sure.
Three
Sir,
years, 4 years.
okay.
Give me a one answer.
It would it would take 1 to 1.5 years, according to my experience, because I worked on this type of algorithm, and I can say that we can do this because we have to automate two parts only: CT scan conversion and the planning and design.
Okay.
For the
Okay.
fibula part only, one surgical procedure is.
Sure. Okay.
Hmm.
Thanks, Chirag.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you so much, team, for an amazing presentation. Now, let's allow our jury a minute to complete evaluating the teams. And while they make their assessments, we'll have another interesting question for the audience here. The rules remains the same. Please type in the answer in the comment section to win exciting TUP merchandise. We'll have the next question, please. Congratulations, Namisha from SC Machadi. You have guessed it right. Request you to reach out to us on our social media handles, or please do write it to us at support@unstop.com. Moving on, we are now ready for our next teams, for which I would like to call upon two teams, which are Team Covalent Bonds versus Team Maestros. Can we have Team's Covalent Bonds video on screen, please?
This is Team Covalent Bonds, and we will be addressing a problem.
In 2015, countries signed the Paris Agreement. They agreed to limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. So it's time to take stock, to see how well or how bad the world is doing. We are doing bad. At the current rate, global emissions will fall 2% by 2030. But to hit the Paris target, they should fall by 43%.
So, who is the villain? It's the carbon emissions. India, being the second largest agro-based economy in the world, produces a lot of crop waste, out of which 90 million metric tons is burned every year, where each ton burned releases 486 kg of carbon dioxide.
Farmers are setting fire to fields to get rid of the remains from previous season. As per government data, stubble burning is contributing to 44% of the air pollution in national capital Delhi currently. Over 9,800 cases of stubble burning have been reported in Punjab. While authorities have imposed fines for violating the ban on stubble burning, it has failed to deter farmers.
So what is India doing regarding this? PM Modi gave a 5-point climate agenda during the COP26, out of which we will be targeting point 3 and point 5. This is to reduce the total carbon emissions and to achieve net zero emissions. So what is the solution? It's biochar.
Now, we all know about charcoal from the grill. A more refined version, known as activated charcoal, is in your home water filter and is also used in industry. Now, while charcoal is technically made from wood, biochar can be made from most any form of biomass. When these materials are heated in an oxygen-starved environment, they thermally decompose into combustible gases, tars and oil, and the solid residue we call biochar. The process is known as pyrolysis, and it's broadly scalable.
The charcoal that is there, which, like I said, is basically pure carbon, is carbon that was in the atmosphere originally. Biochar is the only effective, economical way we know of to actually remove CO2 from the air. There are technologies that tout their benefits as, oh, we are able to reduce the carbon footprint, or we're carbon neutral. Biochar is carbon negative. This is an amazing material.
So who will buy this amazing material? We have identified two target markets: cattle feed supplement and farming supplement. With about 75 million dairy farms and about 300 million bovines in India, we will target dairy farmers as our customers. But why will they buy it? Because it is certified safe, it improves digestion, immunity, milk yield, and facilitates better growth in cattle. And all this at a minimal cost of rupees 1 to 2 per cow per day. Now, let's dig deeper into how will we do this.
So imagine that you are a farmer. You have harvested and you have got your crop yield, but now you have a bigger headache on your hands. You have to deal with the crop residue or the stubble. You don't have any means to dispose of it, so you decide to burn it and pollute the environment while getting the risk of being fined. Here is our proposal that we will take the stubble off your hands, we will even pay you, and we will make biochar out of it. This sourcing will be done in the northern plains of India, from where there is maximum crop and crop residue production across India. Now, once we do have the biochar on our hands, what will we do? We will. There are many target uses for biochar, but the most established in India is the animal husbandry. For many, cattle are their family and their livelihood. Recently, the lumpy virus outbreak and a morbidity rate of 30% in India has made farmers aware about various diseases in cattle in India. So, we offer biochar which can boost better immunity, increase weight gain, increase milk yield by about 1 liter per day per cow, and reduce methane emissions from dung. And all this just by feeding 20 grams of biochar to your cow per day at a cost about 1 to 2 rupees per day. And this will be distributed at the milk collection centers across India.
So here come with the marketing strategy. Trust is most crucial thing in our business, and to build that, what we are planning is to do 6 months pilot testing by collaborating with one of our animal husbandry in a village where the cattle will be feeded with our product, that is Pashuchar. Here comes the role of Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, who would record our results and certify it. So therefore, it becomes more credible and trustworthy for the farmers. These outcomes would be shown to all the dairy farmers in UP and Rajasthan, which is our target location at present, and also in the India's largest and only expo for animal feed and technology, that is Feed Tech Expo 2024. In the online channels, we have Krishify app and DD Kishan TV show to create awareness. And in offline channels, the best option is to collaborate with the milk centers, where the dairy farmers would be coming to sell their produce and they would buy our biochar hand in hand. Next is our plan, where a long-term vision, where we are not stopping here but targeting the organic farming sector in future. As we have a cost advantage here, so therefore the export industry looks very lucrative in the terms of financial at present. Moving on to financials.
Now for the financials, our production unit can be run at various capacities with maximum production of 64 tons per day biochar against the market demand of 2000 tons per day. To cover up the operational cost, the annual break-even comes at 1395 tons, which is only 7% of our maximum production capacity, and it only costs us 28.2 rupees per kg of biochar produced. By setting up the plant, the calculated capital investment will start generating a positive cash flow in only 13.5 months as shown in the graph. From Excel and expense simulations, we have also generated profitability ratios at 75% of operational capacity shown in the brown box, such as ROI will be 87% and ROI will be 95.79%. Now I would like to share the prototype and process. So as discussed, the process is pyrolysis, which is slow one. It requires thermal decomposition of biomass at 200 degrees Celsius for 60 minutes in absence of oxygen. It will yield 40% biochar, and rest byproducts can be utilized in power generation for the plant, and this has been tested in the lab scale in collaboration with ICT Mumbai. We have got the results of our sample, and this is the sample packaging we will be designing.
So further, how we are protected from the competitors. So we will develop USP with an extensive R&D which is going on at present, and we would come at it with an ideal composition of production of biochar, which would be patented. And I would like to say that here we don't have any direct competition at present in India. So, in conclusion, Team Covalent Bond believes that our idea is socially desirable, financially viable, and environmentally sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Can we have the next team? Team Maestros for the idea face-off round.
Wonderful. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hi, Team Covalent Bonds. Great presentation. While the idea looks very futuristic, but the question revolves around the sustainability and profitability of this business. As there are multiple active IPs by big research institutes around producing biochar, and you have none. So while for the initial 2-3 years you will be creating the awareness in the market, as soon as these big fertilizer companies and feed producers get a hint that they are losing the market share, they will start producing biochar themselves and regain the market share from you.
So regarding this, I would request Dhruv to take the first part, and I will then take on the second part of USP.
Sure. Taking the lead on the process, as we have discussed with ICT Mumbai, there are various companies running in the Western world who are already in this business. But as per in India now, there is no such competition, and we are also going to patent a proper composition which will yield maximum of the output in both animal industry and farm industry. And we are considering extensive research and allocated proper funds for that.
And taking on to the second question, there is your concern is well worth that future competitors might enter into the market. But the thing is, currently there is no direct competition. The thing you mentioned that the feed supplement providers will jump in on this progress is that on losing market share is that our supplement can be given along with their feed. So farmers won't necessarily reduce the purchase of their feed. They will just add our product to it. And as an added bonus, we can even target these B2B producers of fertilizers as well as the feed providers to become our customers, where we can supply them biochar, which they can add in their feed supplement or the feed food. And that can be a win-win situation for both of us.
Yeah, ultimately the end ultimately the farmer is purchasing more, and in terms of the output which the farmer is getting is also slightly more, but the question again revolves around the consumption of fertilizers or the feed which they are currently giving to the cows or other animals will go down, and as soon as they go down, these big companies will catch on their capex and infuse all the money into this business and take over the whole process. Also around the IP, I know that in India there are some companies in this field, but all of them, comes under this IP infringement areas. There is no substantial IP created from the Indian perspective. So yeah.
So, addressing that fear that people will enter our industry, even though I would like to re-clarify that they won't lose their market share when our product is in the market. Our product will go alongside with them. But even if they do enter, we have extensive R&D. We will partner with ITC and we will patent our composition. In this, the better your composition is, the better your results will be. So once we establish a patented product, we gain trust in the minds of the farmers with the influencer marketing and the various rural marketing channels we will be doing. And finally, when we put our product in the market with a robust supply chain of using milk distribution centers in India, we will be safeguarding us against the competition that might arise in the future.
But then farmers won't agree for an extra cost, right?
No, we talk to the
So
farmers, and with an additional cost of 1 to 2 rupees, they are getting an assurity of better gut microbiology, micro digestion process in their cattle. They are very happy to do this. As about if we go into the details, in 5% mortality rate of India, 1% of it comes directly from the gastronomical diseases, which can be reduced drastically by using biochar. So farmers are very happy.
Thank you, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Thank you, team. Very, very interesting presentation. Very different. So, thank you so much for educating me as well as something new has come up in this particular sphere. I wanted to understand where is your prototype stage right now? Are you near to the prototype stage? Have you tested in the market? Do you require some certifications?
uh, sure, sir. Thank you for the question. I would like to take it up. So, me and Sagar are from chemical engineering background and have a certain expertise in this field. And we have collaborated with ICT, that is Institute of Chemical Technology in Mumbai, where already research has been going on the applications and production of biochar. So, in that type, already lab scale testings and lab scale production have been tried, and the composition shown on the slide is for the wheat straw biomass. And we have done extensive research and study of over 200 plus research papers on the effects of biochar on both farm industry and animal husbandry. So it gave us a positive outlook that there is a certain market having a greater potential. And the plus point is that in India it is not tapped yet, and we will have the movers advantage if we get into the industry. And for the prototype, we will be setting up 6 months of pilot plant that will be taken by Sagar.
So basically, yes, sir, we are in process of contacting some of the animal husbandry in villages, where actually we could after producing the biochar on the lab scale, we could feed them to the cattle which are present there. And after 2 months or 3 months period, we could record that what amount of benefits that cattle would be getting in terms of feeding this. So as we have seen that in research, it is stated that. There is an increase in milk yield with the cattle and also the weight gain of cattle. Even it improves the digestion system. So we are in process of talking and collaborating with some of the animal husbandries at present.
So maybe if I go next, Pavas, you had something else also as a
Um,
continue.
no, we have less time, so I'll allow you to go.
Oh, sorry, then I'll shoot. So thanks, team. I'm curious, and I have two questions. One is that biochar has been in existence for quite some time now. It was, I mean, the TEDx talks, and then 2019 there were all kind of people trying to get into it. You make it sound very attractive. So if it's so attractive, why aren't people getting into it? Is the first question. The second question is that incentivizing of the government by collecting biomass for power generation has been around for quite some time, and the biggest challenge is that the distribution and the math on a total cost does not tie up because there's a lot of wastage in the entire process. The distribution cost is very high of picking up. So how have you solved these two problems?
Certainly. So, picking up the first question, why certainly biochar has existed for a long time, but I believe that the market has been going about it in a wrong way. Biochar has been ideally traditionally proposed for farming, though it is an amazing application in that as well. We feel that currently the Indian market is not ready for it. If we can make profits if we target that market in the foreign market. Let me go to the slide. In countries like US, Australia, and Brazil, a large focus is there on organic farming. So if we want to make profits by targeting the organic industry, we can export it there. But in India, the farmers are not ready to make such a huge investment because for upturning one farm with biochar, we need about 3.33 tons per acre of biochar, and this is a huge investment for the farmers which are already poor in India. So that is why we are targeting and entering into a different sort of market of animal husbandry, which is very prevalent in India, and the cost is also minimal for the farmers to bear. And regarding the second question, Sorry, sir, can you repeat the second question again?
The second question was that biomass for power generation and process steam has been in existence for quite some time. And the reason it doesn't work is that the collection becomes a massive challenge, and the math doesn't add up. So how have you solved it?
Yes. So for collection, firstly, we talked to a few of the farmers, and they mentioned that a partial collection is they are targeting is that when they have dairies near them, there are people who go on rounds and collect the residue from the farms. But this is very unorganized. So if we give contractual employment to the farmers in specific villages where our target market is there, they can go on rounds and collect it, and this will be only contractual because there will be cycles. If we target only main four crops, this collection period will be during the period where harvesting is being done. During this there will be a certain amount of expenditure, but we can go and collect all the residue there is, and we can use it for production later.
And further adding on, I would like to get to the NHL part. We can move to the
Sure.
next one. Still next one.
Sure.
Okay, so we have done investment and financial analysis that what may be the percentage cost breakup, and our operating cost majorly comprises of variable cost. That is, 95% of total operating cost is from variable, and it includes the raw material procurement and transportation cost itself. And other is the energy cost, because these two components are major expense for us. And to deal with them, we have tried to optimize the transportation process by leveraging both rail and road transport by 80-20 ratio. And we can see in the variable cost section on the right side that the utility cost has been a major component, and that has been reduced by utilizing the biogas and the bio oil that is produced. By setting up a thermal power plant run by this bio oil and biogas, we are saving energy, and we can generate 1 kilowatt hour per 1 kg of feed used in the process. So it is a self supporting exothermic process, and in the future, in the longer run, when the plant runs continuously, we can cover up all these expenses. And as per the ratios show from the graph, previous slides, please, on the finance. Okay. And since this is a batch plant, we can run it various capacity. The data shown is for 75% capacity, that is 40 tons per day. We can have these ratios, and the investment is 87%. So initially, it may seem to be very expensive, but in the longer run, we are going to catch up, and it will be generating hefty profit for us.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say 116% ROE is unfathomable in most of the industries, including absolutely low investment cost. So anyhow, so understood the thought process. Yeah.
Team, I have just one basic question. What I understand is biomass, biogas, and all have been in existence, and there are these plants which which use this agricultural waste, convert it to biogas, produce electricity. So, apologies for my lack of knowledge, but what happens to the residue in those existing plants today, as of today? And what you are proposing, is it any different, or are you just talking about repurposing some of it? So what exactly is new is what I'm trying to understand here.
I would like to take that question, sir.
Yeah, please.
So starting from the farm itself, when a farm harvests its
No,
crop,
no, don't go
now
there. I'm just limited to the setup of using biomass to generate biogas and electricity. Just limited to that, right? So within that, there would be a residue, right? Not everything is going to vaporize. So what happens to that residue as of today for the existing plants in operation?
certainly we will have to look it into further, but majority of biogas plants are run from the methane production, and that is burned, and that contributes in the carbon emissions. That is our target. Whereas in our plant, bio and biogas are byproducts, and they are being used to generate energy, and we're utilizing in the biochar production itself. And our main component is biochar, that is carbon negative, that can be used to absorb the carbon, as 1 ton of biomass burned contributes 3.5 ton of carbon dioxide in
No,
the air.
that I
And
understood. That I understood. I was trying to compare the existing plants with what you have put here. Nevertheless, here I think I got it. Uh, cool. Okay, Meenal, over to you. Thank you, team.
Thank you,
Thank
team.
you so much, team, for a great presentation. We would now like to move forward with our next team, Team Maestros, with their video, please.
My simple question to you is, do you know the number of laborers there are in India? The answer is 48.7 crores. Now, out of these 48.7 crore laborers, the unorganized sector of these laborers, the number falls to 46 crores. Now, just imagine a platform which taps these 46 crore laborers to generate revenues for ourselves. Won't that be an amazing and brilliant idea? And that is exactly what we are doing. We get these laborers through their contractors, we qualify them, and that's how once they enter our platform, we take them to their customers, which are the industrialists. When both the ends meet on a common platform, and when both the problems at both the ends are solved, we earn our own revenue.
So our key partners are not only going to be the laborers, but even the contractors. And in addition, we are also going to be dealing with the supervisors, who in most cases would be Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certified. In case of large scale projects, there are several contractors, and it is essential for the society to make sure that there is as little waste as possible. And in case of small scale projects, there is normally only one contractor, and we call this person a thekedar. Now, our focus is going to be on both, be it an urban setting or a rural setting. If at all we talk about metro cities, most of the construction projects are huge. They are of high budgets and require a big workforce. In these cases, our core competency is going to be providing service in a way that's not only efficient, but also highly organized. This idea would be started off with construction, but eventually we will be tapping on other industries as well. Now, what are we doing to make it organized? Our platform, that is DigiLabor, is providing a social status to the laborers, as now their entire database is going to be handy with contractors as well as supervisors. In times of COVID, many such people have been out of work, and now with easy access, they can be hired temporarily or permanently depending on the need. There would be savings from both the ends, that is, customers as well as the contractors. What we will be designating the entire work in a specific area to one contractor. The quantity increases, therefore the cost decreases, and at the same time, the customer will also be spending less because of our smart distribution of work, as the turnaround time will be less. Now, this portal is going to be available to both the contractor as well as the customer, and we have provided the functioning in the slides. Now, why do we need funding? So half of the funds we get are going to be used up in marketing campaigns, as most contractors are there on online platforms, and the rest of it is going to be used up for platform maintenance, inventory, as well as staffing. To get a reality check, we even conducted a small on-ground feasibility analysis to study and see whether the contractors would be interested. We received a great responses. Out of 20 contractors, 16 were convinced that this would be a great idea to give fellow construction force a social status.
And that is why we say that it is time to make India the new manufacturing hub of this world with the contribution of our skilled laborers and in a much organized way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, hi judges. So you have just seen our idea. We are here to empower the labor force, which is a huge amount of population. A simple problem statement is that we want to connect the laborers through their thekedars, because we know that laborers are uneducated, onto one single platform, connect them to industrialists, that is the B2B part, and B2C will be tier 1, tier 2 customers who are looking for day-to-day replenishment works. Our benefits are for all the three stakeholders. Labor, we will be giving them employment, that is, we are going to efficiently utilize their time, for the thekedar and for the customer as well. For the customer, it is going to be no operational hiccup or very less operational hiccup in the entire process. As we have gone through this slide, wherein our USP is to improve the efficiency, wherein we define, measure, analyze, improve, and control the entire quality of work in this particular funnel. Our channels are going to be two, urban and suburban, wherein urban will be where we're dealing with more than 50 laborers in tier 1 cities, and suburban wherein we'll be dealing with less than 50 laborers. And our value proposition lies in our operational efficiency. The interface part will be covered in the prototype video.
The most simple and best explanation is the easiest explanation. So this is how the flow looks like. The customer tells us the requirement, tells us the budget, the timeline. We ensure based on the database, we connect the timeline and the budget to the respective laborer. We make a decision. We'll have KPIs on a daily basis and a weekly basis to have check-ins, and then post which we'll again push on for sales. This cost structure will be beneficial because we're taking bulk projects. So we'll be saving on the cost, and our revenue streams will be through commission and through membership. This is one example wherein we have talked about painting a particular flat and how the margins were different before and will be more when it comes to our platform. Over to you, Shashwat, for the financials. You're on mute, Shashwat.
Apologies. Hi everyone. When we speak about the financials, the market has 44 crore of unorganized laborers, and if we even consider 40% of it to be semi-skilled, and out of that, say 75% of them are willing to relocate and work, and we tap 40% of them, the market becomes 5.3 crore. That's a huge market. In fact, probably the biggest market in the world. And we are expecting 30% of them to go for B2C gigs, while 70% of them to go for B2B. If we do the analysis around the cut that we are taking, that is 2% and 5% respectively, along with the average revenue size that they'll get from each contract, we will end up becoming profitable in the first year itself, which will be that will be making 2.6 crores of profit after taxes. The growth in the real estate industry is currently at 25% CAGR per year, which is phenomenal and the highest in India. And we think we'll be able to bank upon this, and our goal of making India stronger and putting India's position in front of the world by making India's workforce organized could be fulfilled via this. Next slide, please. When we talk about our go-to-market strategy, we are partnering with B2B companies like MyGate and RWA Society presidents and gated societies so that we get bulk deals. It's not possible for us to initially go to each and every customer individually. This will lower our marketing expense when we directly partner with them. We are already in talk with MyGate app, and we are also trying to incorporate multilingual aspects inside the app so that everybody is able to use. We have government partners like Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, so that these laborers are trained for free of cost. Now, here we would like to present our prototype with the goal of making India stronger.
Over to the team to present the video which we
Present the video, please.
If I want to offer some work, I can quickly click here and log in into my account. On the home page, I can see all the services which are being offered. I can quickly fill on the details and select the workers which are required. After that, I'll select the quantity and click on proceed. After that, take the help of AI to provide me 3 recommendations of the contractors. I can notify these contractors. Going back, I can also see my active projects. This is one of the active projects, and these are all the details required. I can also see that here are some of the messages which I have received. Now, if I am a contractor, I can click on I need work and quickly log in into my account. But here I need to enter the worker's detail as well. The minimum requirement is 1. I will fill in all the details, and Aadhaar is mandatory. I will add the skills of these workers, selecting the serviceable location. I will click the location and provide the radius in which I'm going to serve. In the homepage, I can easily see a split of active and total available workers. I can see how many projects I'm currently enrolled into and what is my expected earnings. Here are some notifications which I have received. I can see the notifications and I can also apply for this job from here only. If I go back, I can also look into my active projects. This is one of the active projects in which I'm currently enrolled into. If I want to apply for more work, I can click here to get the perfect opportunity for me. This is one of the opportunity, and I have seen all the details and the documents attached. I can click on apply for this work. After that, I can also see there are some messages which I've received. I can click on any one of them and reply that person.
Thank you, judges. We want to actually see India become the next manufacturing hub, and this is just one step to make it possible.
Thank you, team. We'll now have Team Covalent Bonds for the idea face-off round.
Greetings, Teams Maestro. It was a great presentation. I have 2 questions for you. As per my understanding, generally the labor workforce is very unorganized and they are mostly migratory people traveling from interstates to intercities. So question number one is how do you gain their trust to onboard them on your platform? Because as per my understanding from a presentation, you will be connecting and your single point of contact will be the contractor who will be dealing with these laborers. But majority of them are not permanent and they keep on shifting their places and some of them may even leave the project that causes a delay of infrastructure projects in India. So that's the first part. How will you gain the trust and onboard them? And second is you talked about welfare of these laborers. Now, since these are not permanent members, so how will you track them and care for them and avoid the exploitation from contractors? So please do answer that.
Sure. So I would like to take this question, Dhruv. Thank you so much for asking. The first part of it would be that when we are shall I cover the exploitation part first?
Sure, sir.
Yeah. So when we talk about exploitation, the only way we figured out to track that was that there are these solution like Perseus and all who could read the bank statements. So via Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Account Yojana, all these people now have bank accounts. So we'll be using the Perseus API to analyze the bank statements and what part of actually the gig that went from our platform went into their bank account. So this could be an automated process, which our technical team is developing already. They are working on the API from which we could easily track if the money actually went to the labor or not. Number one. Number two, when we talk about onboarding them and since they change places, as you said, so this is linked with a unique identity, and that's the Aadhaar. So when they have been onboarded, the profile has been created. It's not like the Thekadar owns that profile. That's an individual standalone profile in itself. The only difference is that these laborers don't know how to operate an Android phone. And that's the reason we are currently relying on these Thekadars to get them onboarded. It's just a mechanism to get them onboarded rather than the Thekadars ending up owning these laborers. Our goal essentially is to work for the welfare of these laborers, and this will be ensuring by this. And secondly, as the internet penetration is improving in India, now we could see vegetable vendors even using mobile phones. We are pretty confident in the next 3 to 4 years, laborers themselves will be able to use the platform, and it will be very easy to use interface in multi languages.
Just to add one small point, so this comes from a personal experience wherein every day when I used to travel to my college, on the roads you actually see these daily wage laborers looking for job. So the thing is they are already underutilized, so the efficiency is much more. So there is a big loophole or big area, big gap in the market. So when it comes to tapping the right efficiency, that is what we're trying to do here. And if you are going to the laborer with work, I doubt they'll not be convinced to take it up. But in terms of making it a periodic habit, that is where the challenge will come, and that's the reason we want to take them on a platform and make the entire process organized with calendar management.
And just one more thing I wanted to touch upon, since you asked that in question, that most of these people are migrants and migrants from say states like Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. So although we live in Gurugram, but I'm from Bihar, and currently for this business idea, I'm visiting my place to just do a feasibility analysis within their families and I'm talking to these families on a daily basis. So I hope this will turn out to be fruitful for them.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Thank you, Miguel.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go first. Yeah. So thanks, guys. It was an interesting take on organizing in an unorganized sector. I have two questions. One is that how is your approach different from Apna, My Rojgar, Mazdoor? They were trying to solve the same issues. Of course, your span, as you showed, is a bit wider, but it's the same topic. So how are you approaching the business cycle differently?
Correct. So I would like to take this question forward. When we talk about, say, sir, we are talking about Apna or we talk about Bandhu, all of them have a different value proposition and problem that they are trying to tackle. When we talk about Apna, particularly, since you mentioned, they are giving a particular employment, which could be a blue collar or blue collar to say something between white and blue collar. The difference that we are trying to make is this is completely for the unorganized market, which entails people like construction laborers. This is a very different market that we are trying to cater to, and Apna is still trying to say cater to a person who's a plumber or say a person who is an electrician. So these two markets are very different. And when we talk about the market that we are targeting, it's growing at a 25% CAGR. And that's why we were very interested, and these people are very much behind. So we wanted to cater to these people.
So
And just to
Shashwat, I'll
add
try
one
to
little
button down
point.
on your business cycle. I understand that your market which you're trying to solve is different. I kind of caveated in the question. But if you look at Apna, My Rozgar Mazdoor, how is your business cycle different from these? I understand that it's they're doing with plumbers, you're going with more unorganized sector. But what's the change in the business model?
Okay, I'd like to take this up. So just to give you a simple example, the difference here is in the way we will be distributing the work and the way we'll be controlling the supply side. So while we'll be in touch with thekedars, which means we don't have to create employment, thekedars of a particular catchment already exist. So we want to work in catchments. Now, when I say catchments, let's say you are living in a certain area, so that area will be controlled by 2 or 3 thekedars. So for us, the job is to talk to the thekedars and get their laborers who are already existing with them on the platform. So that is the supply side. And on the demand side, we will be localizing the distribution of work. So for that one catchment which is allocated to one thekedar, the laborers who are working in that area will be working in for those catchments. So let's say today, if thekedar is catering to 1 or 2 flats in one area, we will be giving them work for either, let's say, more than 10 flats, which will be of similar kind. In that area. So what happens is we're giving them bulk orders in one specific catchment, which will affect their cost and margins. So we're also helping them in procurement margins. Plus, at the same time, we don't have to create extra supply. We already are going to only tap to the resources which are there for supply. So for us, the entire process of onboarding and supply side and the demand side will be different because we're going to localize the project based on the catchments.
And for just quickly touching upon the last dimension of it, is that we are trying to help end consumers who have certain gigs, connect them with the appropriate talent for doing that gig, rather than it's the people who are recruiting versus the people who want the jobs. So these are pretty much job portals or contract portals. We are more focused on the B2C side of it, so that people get to get their jobs done at home.
So we also want to manage the talent properly. So today, if somebody is coming on a platform, we'll quantify what talent does he have in terms of, let's say we're going to rate the existing skills, what the skills can be relevantly used for, and then we'll have a promotion cycle also based on the upgradation of skill. And also demand side, we'll have specific KPIs. Let's say, for example, painting a wall. So how much paint does it go, or the texture, the appearance of the wall during the work. So we'll have very strict KPI measures, and we'll have a good promotional cycle for these unorganized laborers as well. So again, supply and demand side, we'll be focusing on that. So this is the way we'll be personalizing every project. That's the final
No,
target.
understood. Heard you. I mean, just to follow up on that is that there was a startup called Handy. It was based in San Francisco in US, and they tanked heavily because of labor issues, because of the labor cases which they had to face, because they were also kind of quasi certifying skills. So how will you solve that problem here?
So
If you guys haven't thought about it, it's okay. But I just wanted to lay it
no,
out there because there's a legal and compliance aspect to it when you're matching demand and supply, as you mentioned, and that's the delta between, let's say, other apps providing similar services. Then that certification has no value unless you're able to stand behind it, and that comes with its own risks. So how have you thought about it?
no, fair point, sir. When it comes to ideal execution, it will happen through some government channels. And regarding the government channels, we've clearly identified those. And Shashwat, I would like to request you to talk about the government channels, which will ensure that this problem does not occur.
Correct. So, sir, when we talk about certification and planning, we are already in talks with certain government departments which have these schemes. So at the center level, there are these two schemes. One is the Deen Dayal Upadhyay scheme, and one is the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, wherein the training is for free, but these laborers actually don't know that there is such scheme which exists in the market. So we are trying to be the platform wherein not only these labor get the gigs, but they are also improving at the same time, so that the quality of life that they will have and the income eventually will also improve.
And so it will be an ownership driven initiative. While I understand that there will be a chaos when this will be started, but if the ownership is particularly given to the laborer, we are designating a particular ID, we are onboarding them, so we are treating them like our colleagues, fellow mates. So that ownership factor will have to be instilled so that such cases don't happen, and that will be a proper HR driven process.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think time's up. I would not like to ask questions ever. Let's move on. Thank you, team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, team, for an amazing idea presentation. Now, let's allow our jury a minute to complete evaluating the teams. While they make their assessments, let's have another round of questions for the audience. The rules remains the same. Please type the answers in the comment section to win exciting TUP merchandise. Can we have the question, please? Hey Pallavi, you have guessed it right. Please reach out to us on our social media handles or write it to us at support@unstop.com. Moving on, we are now ready for our final teams. I would now like to call upon the teams Power Pioneers versus Team Infinity. Can we have the first team video, please?
The world has decided to move away from fossil fuels in COP26, and India has decided to reduce its carbon footprint by 50% till 2030 and net zero by 2070. However, seeing the growth in demand for energy and the relatively lower growth in renewable energy, we are lagging behind in this race. Less spaces in urban areas and fewer storage systems to store the incremental solar energy. This is a white space which can be attacked. So where is India moving towards? EVs, a sustainable and future-proof source of transportation. Smart grids, a two-way communication between the utility and its customers to move the energy industry into a new era of reliability, availability, and efficiency. Considering all of this, we have come up with a grand idea: bidirectional EV charging infrastructures. Coming to our idea, research says that a vehicle battery with a capacity of about 100 kilowatt hours can store about as much energy as an average household needs for 1 week. And this is the basic representation of our idea, which is basically an extension of a smart grid, which consists of a grid, a charging infrastructure, and an EV. Now coming to the advantages of our idea. First one is catering to the space issue which we have in urban cities. So consider a solar farm, which requires an area of 6,000 square meters, but it only generates a power of 1 megawatt. Now coming to our idea, which is having 1,000 panels separated out in the city, which produces the same amount of energy, and that saves our space. Second, coming to the catering to the need of surge demand. So in order to understand that part, we will consider two cases. Case one, under normal operations. So under this operation, our solar panels and grid will supply energy to EV through our charging infrastructure. And this is the normal case. But case two, consider surge demand. And in this case, our EV will act as an independent storage unit, and it will send its energy through our bidirectional charging infrastructure to the grid along with the solar panels. And thereby we solve two issues.
So our idea gives us a futuristic scenario where an EV just doesn't take you from place A to B. It isn't just a ride, but a moving energy hub that helps us tackle energy challenges. We're trying to solve real-world problem of energy demand and supply mismatch by turning EVs into smart energy storage solutions that beats the limits of regular batteries. It's a game changer, flipping the script of what we know about energy. We're not just dreaming, we're making it practical by hooking into Reliance's huge network of 64,000 petrol stations and offices. And guess what? It's right on track with the global EV trend. With a solid initial investment of 9,400 crore and government support, our approach goes beyond profit. It's about environmental impact, customer incentive, and changing the energy landscape of India. So this is not just a business case, it's a roadmap to a greener and electrifying tomorrow. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our revolutionary idea is a bidirectional charging infrastructure, turning EVs into mobile smart storage solutions. Using energy stored in EVs in times of surge demand, we plan to meet the excess energy requirement now with an added functionality of setting solar panel over charging infrastructure. We solve the problem of space in urban areas as well as future renewable energy demand. This way, our solution solves the twin problems discussed. Our idea creates a ripple of positive impacts. It will create thousands of jobs while providing grid stability and resilience against power outages. Technological advancements and innovations increase our global competitiveness, contributing to GDP growth while reducing dependence on fossil fuels, curbing carbon emissions, enable a transition to clean energy while meeting our COP26 targets, hence taking incremental steps towards solving the climate crisis.
Embarking on a strategic journey will first simulate bidirectional charging needs, then conduct field tests for scalability. By seamless integration with existing Reliance infrastructure, we can leverage the vast network of over 1400 plus Reliance petrol pumps and offices across India. Partnering strategically with government bodies aligns us with regulations, while consumer education initiatives will drive widespread adoption. These above steps ensure a seamless, sustainable plan to implement our idea. Here's a prototype of our bidirectional charging infrastructure. Here you can see a dual active bridge converter, which is the main component of the circuit, which provides the bidirectional functionality. Now let's see how this works. In standard operation, AC supply from the grid flows through various converters, bringing it to the required DC voltage to the battery. Now, when we want power from the battery, we simply adjust the phase shift between the two square waves of the bridges in the DAP converter. With the positive phase shift, power flows gradually from high voltage bridge to the lower voltage bridge, and with the negative one, it reverses. Now, we want to propose two business models for our idea. Our corporate model revolves around strategic partnerships with businesses to install our charging infrastructure in their parking spaces. Corporates stand to gain green certificates, providing EV charging facilities to employees, and enjoy revenue streams by selling surplus energy back to the grid. Reliance benefits through revenue from selling and maintaining these installations while amplifying its green portfolio and potentially garnering government support to contributing to sustainable initiatives. In the petrol pump model, where prolonged car parking isn't feasible, we introduce battery swapping units as dynamic storage. Reliance utilizes renewable energy to charge these battery units, generating revenue through battery swapping services and selling excess energy to the grid.
To analyze the viability of our idea, we started to track the user energy of the end users of this idea. We have considered a community of 500 houses, just like prestige apartments with bidirectional charging infrastructure and battery swapping stations. Let's say you're driving to your office in the morning and park your car while you work. With the infrastructure present there, your EV battery charges using renewable energy. When you're back home, you have an access to a portal that tracks and regulates your EV battery. Now you have a choice. If you have a long trip planned ahead for tomorrow and you need full charge, you have the option to opt out from supplying your extra energy to the grid. If not, you're opted in by default, and any extra energy you have above the threshold set by you will be supplied back to the grid in the night. This way, you have enough energy for your needs and you will be adding value to your community. As far as financials are considered, we have cost structure components such as chargers, transformers, swapping stations to find figures of capital investment required. On the revenue side, we have considered profit per swap and EV charging fees. By analyzing both sides, we have a break-even point of around 12 years, post which we will be generating 17 crores per year. Moving on, close relations with organizations like CM and FCCI would help us navigate regulatory challenges. Potential partners could be Hager Group, which is working on V2G and V2B, and also Sun Mobility for battery swapping tech. Addressing potential bottlenecks, battery concerns may arise due to frequent discharges. Battery health optimization for prolonged EV battery lifespan and global smart grid integration is the possible road ahead that we look forward to. Every industry Reliance wades into will see a mammoth change. It's time for Reliance to be the market leader in bidirectional EV. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Can we now have Team Infinity for the idea face-off round, please?
Hello team. Thank you for such a great idea. And but we have few concerns. First of all, you talked about battery degradation, but as we all know, the frequent charging and discharging cycle, they will contribute a lot of battery degradation in EVs. So how will you address the impact on lifespan of EV batteries, and what measures are in place to minimize that? And also, as you might be aware, like this bi-directional flow of energy, will involve some data exchange between EVs, charging station, and grid. So how will you address these privacy concerns and ensure the security of data and transaction associated with energy flow?
Hi Tushar. Just to answer the question, first question was about the frequent discharges, right? As mentioned, it is a bottleneck right now for us, where we have battery concerns for, the lifespan of it is around 1,000 cycles for now. But there are startups and companies that are actively working on this, which is said to be like for 2 years from now there will be 5x increase in the battery lifespan. So the frequent discharges would be a part of it, but there will be already be a solution by the time our idea gets implemented. And the second,
Also, like my friend said, that various companies are working on it, and there are companies which are working on the technology part of it, which are developing battery management systems, which will efficiently make this idea feasible and make this discharging and charging process efficient. That's why it will improve the longevity of the battery. And coming to the second part, we will be using IoT solutions in order to data transfer from one thing to another. And yeah, like my friend was answering the question, she will be answering the legal part of it.
the legal part is like before we get to that part, we have something called smart meters that are already present, that is already available in the market as of now in the country. So we are planning to use that for regulating our battery usage. That is the first part. And
and
legal part.
and at various points in the process we have kept enough checks so that the process would be completely consent based, like in the pitch that Mansa showed the prototype, a user is being asked for his opinion everywhere. So that is one way of mitigating the legal aspects around it.
Thanks, Tushar,
Okay,
for the
thank you
question.
team.
Yeah.
Thank you team.
Thank you, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Yeah, thanks, team. It was an important topic. I have three questions. I think the battery degradation was touched upon, but in your economic model, how many charge discharge cycles per day you have considered?
So we have monthly, it's 5 discharges. So usually it's done like you have charging it 4 days in a week. But now that we are discharging it every day because we are giving it back to the grid, the optimization will be less. But that is what our solution for battery optimization comes in. So.
But five charge discharge cycle will not hold at all in this. If you are doing vehicle to grid, it would be 2 cycles a day minimum, no? On what basis was 5 cycles considered for a month?
So the base first right as of now, whoever is using EVs, the charging cycles is 5 per month, where you charge completely to 100% and then discharge. But if we are doing it for giving it back to the grid, then the charging cycle will be increased, and that's where battery optimization comes in.
Yeah,
And
so
so
because
since
your math will change, your math will considerably change because if you and you mentioned that 1,000 cycles going 5x, That is based on stationary and a very predictable usage. Here, you will essentially respond to the surges, as I understood from your presentation, which would be not in your control at all times when your vehicle is connected to the grid, right? Because it's a bidirectional inverter, the energy will flow. Now, so the math, if it's considered based on 5 cycles, this math will not hold under any circumstance. And your degradation will eat away at least 50% of the battery life, whatever you have considered in the current mechanism. So that is one feedback, let's say, which I had. The second is that there is. Go ahead, Rajat. I think you wanted to say something. Please.
Yes, sir. Answering to your question, since this idea is at a it will be implemented at a macroscopic level, and there will be n thousand and lakhs of EVs that will be included in our idea. Thereby, we are limiting 5 cycles per EV, such that it doesn't hamper your EV at that by that amount. Also, this idea is just an incremental step towards contributing some part to the demand from our renewable energy needs. It will not be a complete solution um, till today, as it will be in the future when we will work upon it. But
So what's the
our
gestation in
idea.
your mind, budget, which you have considered for this?
Sorry, sir.
For vehicle to grid to come, what is the gestation which you have considered for this market? For this market to develop, this use case to develop, what's the gestation cycle?
So
18 months from now you see this, 2 years from now you see this. When do you see this?
right now we are working on averages, sir. So in that sense, if you're talking, sorry, I'll let my colleague go ahead.
Sure, sure.
And thank you for the question, sir. So I'll quickly answer one small part that my peers missed ahead. Sir, so you might notice that we have included two parts in the revenue structure that involves EV swapping as well as charging through the EV charger infrastructure. And we haven't kept those mutually exclusive at this point of time. So the number would overlap there also. And hence we are providing a safety net for a greater number of charges which the user would need in case, as you rightly mentioned out, that it might be more than 5 if we are putting B2G also. And so second, coming back to the gestation period, it depends a lot on the rate of EV adoption in India. By 2030, 30% of the vehicles in India would be EVs. So we are looking closely with working at that number. And we are also working towards bringing the charger to EV ratio under around 1:20. Presently, that ratio is 1:135 in India, which is very poor. So that is also one thing which we are considering in our model.
Also, sir,
And how
adding
have
to
you
my
considered,
friends.
sorry, maybe just a quick one. How have you considered grid codes and all of that? Because bidirectional, that would be important. You're
Yes.
supplying it back to the grid, right? Because all of it comes at a cost, and I don't see any of it written here. So I'm curious that
Yes.
because this is one of the most optimistic financial models I've seen on vehicle to grid.
Okay, sir. Sir, so so one of the issues with feeding back into the grid is that right now it is not supported by the government. However, since the space is very well developing and it would be something in the future, so there are federations like SIAM and even FICCI, CII, which work in close relation with the government around these policies. So I feel that those will play a pivotal role, and Reliance, being such a company, can also influence a major part in the decision making. So I
No,
feel
but you
those
didn't make this business case for Reliance. No, you would have done your own study. I mean,
So, in terms of tariffs that you're talking about, like how much cost will be energy for us, and when we give it back, as of now, we are taking it in general like 4 rupees per unit, which is the actual case right now, sir. So it is on both ways we are trying to do it, but when we are giving it back to the grid during power outages or power surges, then the government will give incentives so that we will get more back. That is what our model is, sir.
okay.
And sir, I think there would be government support coming in from government side, of course, because we have COP26 targets ahead us, and we are not growing to that mark such that to achieve that targets.
Rajat,
Thereby,
I
government
like
will be
your
pushing us.
optimism. I like the optimism, but I hope you do realize even this incentives on the EV vehicle registration is gone. I like the optimism in the voice, and I know we are not doing enough for the projections. But what I'm saying, trying to say is that you have to maintain the economics based on normal usage. You cannot assume that the government is going to incentivize, because whatever the government incentivizes, they have a balance sheet to maintain, and that cannot be the bedrock of any of the financial modeling. I don't know whether that's been done or not, but I'm just saying that would not be appropriate way to look at it. Understood.
So we
Sure.
do understand that it's an optimistic model, but that is like we wanted to create the basic understanding of how it could be, and that was what we had come up
Understood.
with. So it,
Sure.
I just have one basic question, guys. It's a first principle question on why do we need reverse flow? With basic understanding of electricity, if I consume, let's say, 200 kilowatt hour per month, um, the supply has to, from the power plant has to send me a higher because there is an energy loss in the distribution grid, right? So over here we are talking about reverse flow. I don't know how that math works out. Second, I'm looking at the impact that you're trying to create, right? COP26, this, that. So if that is what we are trying to do, and we are talking about solar panels and all, I'm wondering why do we need to make this complex model of solar panel and it feeding into the grid, peak electricity, this, that. I should just use solar panels for my daily house consumption, like we are charging our laptops right now. Why are we not using solar? So I have these very fundamental questions to which I would have ideally wanted answers, but I think we are running out of time. But things for you to ponder about. Yeah, Rajat, maybe you can quickly answer and then we'll have to move on.
Sure, sir. So, sir, like we said, we have the capacity to generate renewable energy, but we don't have the capacity to store it somewhere. And there our idea comes in, where our battery swapping units or battery EVs will act as the storage units for that extra excess energy which we are creating. So that way we
But
are
we are going with
contributing
a
to
big
this.
assumption here that we are creating excess energy, right? You need to back it up by data because from what I understand, we are not creating excess energy. There might be losses in the grid, but from what I understand, basis the macro reports which I read, our energy generation is still lower than what we actually need, for our growth.
Yes, sir. So I'd like to take that up. And to begin with, I'll give a very small and simple answer to your question, sir. So we have considerably less amount of energy production, but what we are looking of is a better match of the supply and demand. Your math was absolutely spot on that how much we are producing, we are requiring it, but sometimes we produce sometimes we are producing more than what is needed in one part, and where there is a deficiency in some other part. So we are essentially using the EVs as a unit of energy, which will help to bridge in the gap. And sir, secondly, like you very correctly pointed out, the energy through especially fossil fuels is pretty less. Like around last year, around a power outage in August, we almost exhausted an entire of our fossil fuel energy capacity. So that's a pretty dangerous situation, and that's why we are focusing a lot on putting solar panels and generating energy through renewable sources, because that's a really untapped area and very powerful source.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Sorry, we'll have to move on, but we can debate on this topic endlessly, but we'll have to move on.
Sure, sir.
yes, sir.
Thank you
Thank you.
for questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We can leave, right?
We have to
Yes,
wait.
what you. Yeah.
Thank you
Meena,
so much for an amazing presentation. What a semi finale this has turned out to be. The variety of innovative ideas showcased by each of the teams is truly remarkable. A very big round of applause to all the participants here. Now, as you know, the winners of today's regional semi finale round will be stepping into the grand finale of TUP 9.0, where they get to meet the other regional semi finale winners from other parts of the country. They will compete with each other, and the best among them shall emerge as the ultimate champion of this competition. Now, I'm sure you're eager to know the winners and runner up for this. I'm sorry, we are still having Team Infinity who is pending for their final presentation. Can we have their video, please?
Hi, we are Team Infinity, and in this season of Reliance TUP, we bring you Pathshala, the app-enabled book vending machine system. Our solution is both purpose-driven and market-driven. On the market side, we found a gap that 88% of the times book remain idle on the shelf, unused. And although there is a huge market opportunity, it remains an organized market. Now imagine that you are traveling in a train or via plane. You may want to read a book but not buy it, or you want to exchange your old books for something else. Also, surprisingly, 27% of the students in the education system do not receive the textbooks that are necessary for their education. Scenarios like this are more often and frequent in this market of 16,000 crore rupees. But there is a chance for change yet still. With Pathshala, an innovative book renting platform with app-enabled vending machines, empowering not only to improve the secondary market of books, but also to rent, sell, or donate books effortlessly.
Imagine a futuristic book oasis at your fingertips. Our innovative vending machines, managed through our dynamic app, offer an exhilarating book experience. Rent any book on display, return it to any machine, and effortlessly order new stock through the app. Plus, declutter your shelves by selling or donating your beloved old books seamlessly. Welcome to the future of reading. So, Parshala's mobile app is your ultimate book companion. Discover the closest vending machine, value your treasured books, and conveniently schedule pickups to sell or donate. Easily locate your desired book and schedule donation pickups, all while earning exciting loyalty deeds points. Dive into a world of books with Parshala. So how does it all work? You can simply scan the QR code or go online to get an instant valuation for your book. If you choose reverse vending, our station will buy your book. On the flip side, readers can access an array of books for rent or purchase. The longer they keep a book, the more they pay, ensuring a fair model for both sellers and readers. The Pashala's visionary approach ensures universal education for every child in India, whether they seek books for a new academic journey or wish to trade in old ones. Pashala stands unwavering, bridging the educational gap with deed points, empowering futures one book at a time. In India, the second-hand book market is significant, but it is yet unorganized. With Pashala, we aim to steadily grow and penetrate this huge market while maintaining our annual revenues of rupees 800 crores. So join our hands with Team Infinity to turn this opportunity into your purpose. Thank you.
Good afternoon, dear jury. We are Team Infinity, and in this season of Reliance TUP, we bring you Pathshala. If you are a book lover, think about what happens to the old books that you have read. Most of the time, they sit on our shelves and knowledge become idols. Our primary research revealed that there are 67% of the book enthusiasts who would want to rent out these books in exchange for some value. Pathshala is a chance to reshare these books with the world by renting, selling, or donating. It solves two basic problems: access to the second hand books, and secondly, bringing unused books to the use once again.
This concept will touch not just students and book lovers, but also educators, business conscious individuals, parents, and philanthropic individuals, embracing a broad spectrum that undeniably encompasses both you and me. The value will start with content sourcing. It is similar to reverse vending, where consumers, after receiving a valuation of the book, will have to generate an online ticket via an app or a website, and then they can visit the nearest vending machine to drop off the book. On successful receivement of the book, they will get credited in terms of money or points that they can. Then the forward vending part is where consumers can go buy or rent the books. Now, if you have a certain book in mind, then the platform will also allow you to find the nearest vending station where the book is available.
So, as told in the video, we have estimated the revenue potential of this opportunity to be INR 12,000 crores. So, now to implement this whole idea, we have divided the project into three phases: conceptualization, execution, and commissioning. So in the first phase, in the first 6 months, we'll work on prototyping and testing along with estimating the execution points where we want to keep the vending machines. In the next phase, we will launch Pathshala across 12 major cities, put up vending stations and improve the process as we go. And in the final phase, we'll commence completely and our focus will be on growth and expansion into small markets. Because our aim extends beyond. In the future, we envision partnerships and outreach to the heart of rural India as a feature of Pathshala.
We plan to launch Pathshala in metro stations, airports, and railways initially, and then move on to the education hub. What differentiates us from our competitors is our physical presence in places where it is hard to reach by. Convenience and ability to choose the model that best suits the consumer, be it rent, sell, or subscribe. Now, we are pitching you a vending machine design that we have developed with thorough consideration. Unlike traditional vending machines, it works on a conveyor belt system and with a book push mechanism so that it can accommodate both the cases of forward vending and reverse vending. We have also thought about the different book sizes, empty slot, and the internal movements. Based on that, we have come up with this design.
We have also developed a Pathshala mobile app through which all this process will be performed by the user. Apart from the basic functionality, this app will bring a ebook, wallet, homepage, review, and community functionality to all. And now, how we aim to create an impactful and purposeful business. Thank you. Now, I request my team to present the prototype video. Over to you.
Thank you, team. Can we have the next team for the idea face off round, please?
Sure, ma'am.
Can we have
So,
the prototype video before?
Unstop, can we have the video, please?
Hi, we are Team Infinity, and in this season of Reliance TUP, we bring you Pathshala, the book vending machine. We have made the process of renting, selling, and buying second-hand books experience filled with ease and convenience. It solves two basic problems at its core. One, the access to the second-hand books, and the second is bringing unused books to the use once again.
We implemented a working prototype of Pathshala in our college MDI Gurgaon, where for now, our security guard was appointed to scan the app of students and take actions. Let's hear what MDA students have to say about Pathshala.
So after the implementation of Pathshala, I am able to browse books very quickly, and it's also very cost effective for students like us. We get to read books every day and our reading habit has improved a lot.
Using Pathshala, I got to exchange some of my books with new books. It's a simple app and very easy to use.
I work in Samaritans for a social cause. Last month when we visited schools, we noticed that there were around 10 students who didn't have textbooks. So we collaborated with Pathshala to provide textbooks to them.
Thank you, team. We'll now have Team Power Pioneers for the idea face off round.
yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. So, great presentation, guys. So, in order to better understand your idea's viability, we have one question. So, considering your target audience is school students who did not receive their textbooks for various reasons, and knowing that the textbooks range from 100 rupees onwards, so how does the rent per day model intend to be cost effective for school students? Also, who takes responsibility in case books are stolen or if pages are missing or torn? And how will you find it? Also, with the limited capacity of the vending machine, how do you ensure customers find specific books customized to the locals in the area, as there could be thousands of genres?
I think I
Sure.
would like to take that. So your question has three parts, right? So first is we have not just the educational students in our target audience. We also have book lovers and adults who will be traveling through like trains and in the airports. So these are the first. The second part is you said how it is more cost effective than that. So you see 27% of the students did not receive the textbook, right? So this model is what it is doing. It is organizing this whole value chain. So if you want to get a book that your senior have but you do not have, so your senior can pass it on to you. Now the second part, who will take care of the in case the book gets stolen or the pages are torn off. So this what we do is, before actually generating a ticket for like the forward vending reverse vending part, you have to like take pictures of the books, and you have to like tell us the pages like if they are in the good condition. After the check only you will get the notification that you can, okay, your book is good, it is genuine, it is authentic, you can go forward with the reverse vending part. So this is how we plan to make it more security like now the third part of your question is, in case someone wants a different like a specific book in mind, so what they can do is they can search on the app. For example, they want Little Prince, so they can search on the app and they can find the nearest vending station if they have that book or not. So please try to understand that it's not that we want to keep thousands of books on the bookshelves. We want to optimize for 200 300 books, right? So this is what we are trying to do with this. So I hope that
And
answers.
also, just to add one more point, in our app we showed a request option also, so that option will always be there if you need something else.
Okay, it somewhat answers my question. Somewhat.
Thank you, teams. We'll now begin with the jury Q&A.
Thank you, team. I actually want to understand. So, somebody who's selling the book, how much will you actually pay that person, and why should somebody sell or donate? Uh, what's the arbitrage for them?
Yeah. So firstly, we have algorithms and pricing model in place. So based on the book that we are scanning the code, when it was bought, and what was its value when it was bought, and what is current demand in the market, those algorithm will be able, if you want to sell it or donate it, you have two options. So donation is obviously free. If you want to sell it, based on those algorithm, you will get a code. You can accept that code, and then you can sell that book. And secondly, the if you ask the process how it will be done, it will generate a token on the app that so and so is your price, and now you accept that price, and then you can go to the vending machine. You can show the app, and then via reverse vending you can put your book in the slot, and then the money will come to your wallet in the mobile app that we showed the wallet option, and you can use those deed points that we are telling in our wallet for future renting or future buying of books through the Pathshala platform.
Help me understand. So, if Tarun, me, and Tuhin, we all put a book, the cost of getting a book from our house to your vending machine, how will you recover that? Because there is logistical cost.
Yeah, so we don't want you to come spatially to our vending machines, because vending, if you see the locations of the vending machine, it's very strategic. So, for example, if these are railway stations, airports, you are going there and you have a book you have already read. Now you want a new book and you have a journey ahead. So, there's the pain point that we're addressing. You just go there to the vending machine, quickly exchange your book, get points, and rent a new book. So, if you talk about the logistic costs of going to the vending machine locations, in these cases it won't be there because of the strategic locations of vending machine. But yes, in few cases, if someone is just using the app from home and want to go to those locations, in that case he or she will have to bear those costs themselves.
Okay, and have you got a quote, or have you actually tried putting a request that you want this in a airport or a railway station? Because the cost will be quite a lot for you. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to recover per unit.
So we are talking to the IRCTC. They have the tendering process in place. and we found that process to be little cumbersome. So what we were told is there are people who already have those places or areas rented in the railway stations. They have the agreements done already, and instead, and then you can rent those area for your vending machines directly from them. So it's like the tendering process is cumbersome. We can go through the tendering process as well, but for initial, I would say, execution or the trial phase that we want to go forward in the next 6 months, we can directly contact those. I would say those people are, I think they're called dealers or someone. Those already have those permission and get quote from them and see how this prototype is working there.
Okay. Your vending machines electricity bill, who will pay, and how are you baking it in your overall EBITDA?
Yeah. Uh,
So the vending machine electric will we will be paying that. So it will we are estimating that it will be around like 10 to 20% of the total operating cost that we are going to use. So apart from that, there will also be this operation team that we will be appointing that will go like bi-weekly to make sure the vending machine is right. I think this is how have divided the cost head.
And in some places, the rent will include the electricity cost. For example, in airports, we saw if you are they are vending machines. So there they have a structure in some, especially privately owned airports, that you get a quote including the electricity cost. So in those cases, we will get a direct quote.
Tohin?
Thanks, Pawan. So, thanks, guys. I mean, reading is very close to me, so good to see that people are thinking about it. But I have a question more in terms of the demand, and maybe my question sounds a bit biased. So, I live in Bangalore, and there's an airport in Bangalore, and in that airport, there is a nice section where you can pick your book and you can give that book back at the airport. And I happened to ask somebody at the airport that how often it gets used, and he said that he has been asked this question after months, that what is the process of even taking the book and returning to it. So I see in your locations, you have put metro stations, railway stations, airports, just to get to a sense that how did you arrive at an addressable market for something like this? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
S-
Ankush, yeah.
Yes, yes. So you are right that some of the airports, like even in Delhi, you can go and just exchange your books. But we started initially with the railway station. So at railway station, we have these book vendors who are like selling the books and everything, but they do not take the books back most of the times. And for example, if there is a journey of like you have to go 10 or 12 stations, and you just want to just read and go through the book, and you want to return it, so in that case, we have thought about like this can be one scenario on which we can capitalize. Now, on the airport, like airport part, like what we have researched, we didn't found a lot of book vendors doing this. So this is how we went ahead with choosing our target market.
And how did you estimate your target market? What assumptions did you take?
So we take like the total second-hand market to be around 16,000 crore rupees. Crore rupees. This was the total, and we went with 10% penetration. That the 10% part of the market we will be able to capitalize from this. So
But
including that.
16,000 crore, how did you define? I'm just, it's a mind-boggling number. It's $2 billion of books of second-hand market, right? That means the
Yes.
primary market of this is 5 times, roughly. Yeah. So how did you get to 16,000? Why 16,000?
We had this report in which it was mentioned that the total value of this second-hand book market was around somewhere around like 20-25,000 crore rupees, and in which 65% of the books they are not back into the system. So we calculated some internal calculations to come up with this number.
So secondary research reports we used, and then we calculated numbers.
Okay, thank you guys.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, team. What a fabulous show it has been today. A big round of applause to all the teams today. Now, as you know, like I was saying, the winners of today's regional semi finale round will be stepping into the grand finale of TUP 9.0, where they get to meet the other regional semi finale winners from other parts of the country. They will compete with each other, and the best among them shall emerge as the ultimate champion of this competition. Now, I'm sure you're eager to know the winners and runners up for this regional semi finale. Now, to quell the curiosity, the suspense will have to linger a little bit longer. The results of today's round will be declared on our social media handles shortly. So keep those social media notifications active. As we draw to a close, a big thank you to our esteemed jury, to the audience, which has been very enthusiastic and participative, and to all the teams here. Looking forward to seeing the winners of today's regional semi finale at Reliance Corporate Park, Navi Mumbai soon. With that, I, Meenal Singh Chandel, would be signing off for today. Keep following us on our social media handles and stay tuned for further updates. Thank you.